I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
I unplugged everything.
Why are you in the dark, brother?
Yeah, he's gone. Hi, everybody.
Howdy, howdy.
I'm kind of scared to move now.
Oh, I'm the host now. Hey, everybody. Hey, sit. Oh.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. No. Oh my goodness. I don't know.
Feel like a Tevin Campbell song.
I don't know what is going on.
What's happening?
Well, look, if you're watching the show, sorry, I did say we was gonna have some issues. For some reason, it's not showing everybody, and I don't know why.
Well, I see all three of us.
I don't. I see you, Theas.
You can't see me?
Nope. Let me
Mm-mm-mm.
try one more time here.
But Tracy, you see everybody, right?
Yep, I see Marlon on my left and Thea's on my right.
Okay. I do not want to touch anything else. And luckily, ain't nobody watching, so good.
But you're kind of low, Mr. Marlon.
Am I?
And it's
Am I?
that
No, your
beep.
volume is low.
Yeah, you got a beeping that's coming in the background.
See, I'm not getting the beat.
I am.
But the
It's like
volume is low.
backbeat.
I'm not hearing anything.
Well, I sure do.
Do you still hear it?
Yes.
Okay, now I got an echo though. Well, I'm really glad we tested this out before tomorrow. 'Cause this would be a joke if it was the real show.
Yeah. Only thing I'm not feeling is I got these options at the bottom. See, like
Yeah,
my
that's what I was
toolbar.
like. What the heck are
Yeah,
these?
my toolbar is usually hidden, but it's forcing my toolbar to stay up. So I can't read what this says. Like I guess leave the podcast. I don't know.
It says
But
show, chat, share, stop video, mute.
Mm,
okay.
strange.
But this is like the wave of the future. Everything is like in the browser now.
Yeah, nobody wants to download anything onto the computer. If you're tuning in, this is a no-name show. I'm just really testing the system out and everything else. And I do, if everything works out well, which I'm really freaking scared to touch anything now because I can see everybody and stuff like that. We are going to talk about Ahmaud Arbery killers have been sentenced today. Um, just to know, just to let you know that get to the ending before we get to the beginning. The father and son has life plus 30 years without the possibility of parole. The driver, Brown, has life, and I think he has life plus 30, but he does have the possibility of parole.
And that's Bryant.
Bryant. So he does have the possibility of parole. Um, I'm just going to go through a couple of videos, and I already named them BS videos because that's pretty much what it is. I hate that I could not get the prosecutor and the judge, which is the reason why I'm just telling you what the ending is. The prosecutor was real good, really, really good. Um,
I think she was sharp, but I wasn't blown away by her. It really helped that the defense counsel, except for the one guy, was entirely just terrible. It was just,
well, I got that guy on. I only got one video of him because I couldn't take him no more. I actually saw it in person, and you talk about the equivalent of throwing anything against the wall and hope it sticks. This guy threw everything, everything he could possibly think of to not get, and all of them was on the same token. They all knew you was going to get life in prison.
you just got real low, brother.
Yeah, guess I'm gonna be a leaner today. Um, they all knew they was gonna get life in prison. What they was trying to fight for was not without the possibility of parole. So they was all trying to do the whole um,
Double
redemption.
jeopardy.
Double Jeopardy was on a bunch of them. Redemption story. Their age came up several times. Uh, the father has a heart condition, and I'm not saying he does or not. I'm just saying if you running down some damn body in the middle of the street, you didn't have a heart condition then.
I don't care what you had. I don't care what the people holding the rope. I don't care if he got rope burn. I don't care if he stubbed his toe. I don't care if he got asthma, so he couldn't really, pull the rope as hard as he wants to. I don't care. You can die in there.
He is.
They'll give you some Tylenol and a blanket.
Oh, good God. Tylenol and a blanket.
That's that jailhouse medicine right there.
Robitussin.
And then you got to think about it, this guy's like a former cop or whatever. So all the you never cared about prison conditions until now. So don't start feeling some kind of way about it now, buddy.
Oh, brother, this is a terrible show. Terrible show.
Oh, your
Anyway, we're gonna
lighting
get to.
looks good, brother.
There's a
You
story
got it
behind that.
glow.
There's a story behind that one too. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and get to the BS. I'm gonna get to the first lady because bless her heart, she tried her best and she said just about anything. But we're gonna go ahead and get to the first lady and see if I can fix this crappy show that I'm putting on right now.
Empathy and kindness are further examples of who Greg McMichael is. He is a husband for over 38 years through thick and thin to the woman that he met and married months later. He's a son, a brother, a father, and a devoted grandfather. So yes, that's how I stand before you, Your Honor, representing Greg McMichael, who has now been convicted of murder. And I say without hesitation, he remains a man of goodness. For 66 years, I calculated that's 24,105 days of life on this planet. And we're here, not for a small matter, not as if all of the other erases what happened on that day, but we are here for a driveway decision to pursue Ahmaud Arbery and a 5-minute chase that ended in tragedy. He needs to be punished. But how that contrast between a life of goodwill and service and the bad decisions that were made that day that resulted in a tragedy that the jury said unanimously he never intended could end up in the state seeking the sort of sentence that is devised for the worst of the worst is not consistent.
Yeah, I couldn't hear the video, brother.
Neither
I
could
can hear it just fine.
I could barely hear it.
I heard it just fine. I was like, okay. You got to give her credit for trying, though. I'm like, girl.
I don't give her nothing. That's the
Give her
toenail
nothing.
lady. I don't give her nothing.
Give her a doggone thing. So there we go. Let's go ahead and get the story started. All my videos is titled BS. I just have a number behind it. At this point in time, I really don't give a damn about you being a devoted husband and a father and all these other things that you are that Arbery will never have a chance to be. So why should I take sympathy out for you? You had a good life up to this point, I suppose. But this kid will not now. And we supposed to feel sorry for you because your life is being taken away from your family? They get to visit you, dude. They get to visit you. They get to talk to you on the phone. You get to whatever time that you have left on this planet, you get to see your grandkids grow up. You may not be around them when they do, but you gotta do all these things. Arbery will not be able to do. Period. I mean, it's a done deal, and you did it.
I look at it like they're not even talking to us. Real talk. We we're only what percentage of the population? They're not talking to us. They're trying to pull on the heartstrings of people who can relate to them, or but that whole. Well, it was just one bad moment, one bad decision. Nah, you lost me. You got together a lynching party, and then you killed this man. So I wish all them. I hope nothing but the worst for you, buddy. Uh, hope all the bad things happen to you. And
What's the new saying now? I hope for the life that you get.
Yeah, I was amazed. She had confidence. I mean, I know things you're not wanting to give her anything, but she was confident in her buffoonery. I'm like, girl,
She was earning her paycheck.
evil people be confident now. And then her job, just like the other attorney, you gotta think about it. Their job is throw it all out there. Like they know that their client is guilty. They couldn't beat that particular one. So now we got to go all in and try to get them the best we can get. That's what the lawyer does. So whatever.
yeah. I'm just glad the family didn't go to the they see us now card because I'm like, please don't say that because Steve's gonna jump right on it.
I really hope not. I don't even know if
Yeah,
I can find that video.
I
Go ahead.
wouldn't do too bad if the family did like it'd still be inappropriate.
But I guess
But
the deal is this case is no different than George Floyd case. Everything had to be perfect.
yep.
If it
Yep.
came out any other different type of way, that would have been more shocking than this. But
Well,
having said that, what are we still doing? Still holding our breath.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's why I sit here
Yeah.
like every time they kill one of us, I'm like, that's just another soldier dead. The war is going on. So the moment they got convicted, my attention kind of shifted away from it because I'm like, yo, they going to jail. So
No, they're
I'm
going to
I'm more
prison.
about what's happening next.
They going to prison. If you think about it, he's
No,
now
it's
going to
cool.
go
We're
to
not in time for
a place where he helped put some of the people in there. Is he going
Oh,
to
they'll
be?
have him moved ASAP.
they'll put them in isolation. I mean, take my word for it. It ain't like he's the first cop in there. I'm pretty sure they have a wing of ex cops.
Yeah, they'll take him and they'll put him in a medical unit because they'll play up his health and they'll play up his occupation and they'll move him probably out of the immediate jurisdiction's prison. And the one's gonna catch it the worst is gonna be the videotape man. Yeah, he gonna catch it the worst.
Because
I
he,
don't
yeah,
think he gonna make it.
because if he was, and I'm not saying you reap what you sow, but if he had never shown that clip, if he had never shown it, he erased it off his phone. There would have been no evidence.
But here's the funny thing about it, and I hate I can't get the prosecutor video. So the case, yeah, he showed the wrong person. They put a case on him. They're investigating. What I did not know was that the father then turns around, tells what was his last name again? Bryant?
Bryant's a video guy, yeah.
Right. Told Bryant, hey, give me the video. The father then takes the video to his attorney. The attorney releases it to the public to, I guess, show, hey, look, I told you I didn't do anything wrong. Here's the video of evidence during an
Wait a
investigation.
minute. Hold on, back up. I thought it was the Brian guy went to some radio
The Brian
station.
guy was the one who initiated the investigation. He just initiated, as in there was not going to even be an investigation because he showed it to the wrong person. The wrong person
No,
showed it
I'm
to the
saying
right
I thought he
people.
went to some radio host and showed the radio
Yeah.
host, and then the radio host
And the radio show host turned them in. See, you got to remember from the very beginning.
Because in the very beginning, the dad reached out to the DA's office because he had friends there.
Yeah.
So he
nothing
actually
was
thought
gonna
that
get-
this video was going to help support it not being a lynching and more of a citizen's arrest gone wrong.
Yeah. See,
I don't care.
the guy showed it to the
You
radio
murdered my
station.
brother. Y'all can rot. I hope you
Yeah.
rot slow. I hope you rot from your head and your toes, and it meets at your belly button, and you just fall apart.
We're
slow
going
like
to the next video. We're going to the next. I don't even know I need to show the damn next video, but we're going to the next video anyway. I hope it's louder or something. Okay.
Greg McMichael is a good man. He's not a perfect person. None of us are. But he's lived a good life, a life dedicated to service. And that does count for something. The choices he made as a young man, all the way through the rest of his life, to serve, not to acquire wealth, not to do anything that brought extreme attention to himself, but to quietly go through the business of choosing career options to help other people. You heard at the bond hearing and during the trial of this case, Greg McMichael chose as a young man to serve this country by enlisting in the Navy. And after an honorable discharge, some years later decided to serve his community. Over 30 years in law enforcement. He was not a patrol officer, then later a detective, then later an investigator with the DA's office because he sought power. There was no evidence of anything like that. There were never any complaints about him being aggressive, about him seeking to take matters in his own hands without seeking the appropriate backups. He was not a gun-toting, aggressive officer. His wife testified during the bond hearing. One matter of pride that Greg McMichael always had is that he never had to discharge his weapon during the service of his community. And of course, he wasn't a law enforcement officer or an investigator for the DA's office for money. That's laughable. He did it to help, he did it to serve and protect other people. His post file that the court had into evidence during the bond hearing indicated numbers of commendations and notes from people in the community indicating how grateful they were for his willingness to participate in a case, for his willingness to go the extra mile, for his kindness to families of people who had lost loved ones. Things that are above and beyond the work that he needed to do. Those examples of commitment, of empathy and kindness are further examples of who Greg McMichael is.
And then he killed a man.
Yeah, pretty much. First of all, is this a new Republican thing, or am I just behind on time? to to add stuff that nobody said anything about. And to say that he did it for the popularity, there's no evidence that said that he did it for the popularity. Who the hell said he did? And to say that he did it for the money, that's just ludicrous. There, that's just asinine. Again, who the hell said that he did it for the money? Who is saying these things?
Tell you, just throw it all out there. She's just gonna throw it. Just throw it.
Anything to stick to. And that judge, the look on his face was like, girl,
Oh,
shut up.
This dude right here was done after Mr. Clan Esquire, because he was the first one up, and he taught and no offense, Tracy, but he taught like the pastor who said, "I'm not going to keep you long," and then keeps you long.
I just stopped by for a little while.
Well, wow. 2 hours and 15 minutes later,
As I come to a close.
after 4 hours and 15 minutes.
I ain't gonna keep you long, but I'm gonna keep you long.
Is that all right now? Is that all right?
So he was already done after old boy stopped talked it. And by the way, here's the funny thing about it. The way it was done in the courtroom, the prosecution lays down their foundation for the sentencing. The defense gets to say, no, I'm sorry, it was the other way around. The defense gets to lay down their yep, exactly. Somewhere along the lines, when it came back around after about probably 45 minutes of them talking, the defense turns around and go, "Okay, can we take a break?" And the judge looked at him like, "Dude, we just came off a break. Okay, we take a 10." He's getting more and more frustrated as the time goes on. But the video I'm going to show of Mr. Clan, pay close attention to the judge. And tell me if this dude look like he just try not to laugh. Like, dude, you're so out of pocket right now. Just stop. But I can't say that because I'm a judge. But dude, you know you're not gonna win, right? This is terrible. But we're gonna get to the video. Okay, last video, this nut job. We can move on to the second defense attorney.
You should take in account extenuating or mitigating evidence that you heard in trial. Heard in trial based on the presentation of evidence over several days that Greg McMichael sought to detain Ahmaud Arbery for one reason and one reason only. It was not for sport. It was not for evil. It was for the same reason that the police who repeatedly came to Satilla's shores came there for. It was to get to the bottom of Ahmaud Arbery's nighttime intrusion into Larry English's house. The verdict spoken by this jury, based on their understanding of the law of citizen's arrest, found that Greg McMichael did not possess the information he needed to possess to attempt to execute a citizen's arrest, and that meant that Travis was not in a position to defend himself because he was the initial aggressor if there was no citizen's arrest that could be supported by the facts and the law. That is the offense that you heard. A reason that is not an evil reason, not a reason of hate, not a reason of anything other than trying to help other people to get to the bottom of this inquiry.
And then he killed him.
I'm
Like
just like,
all of that. Hey, he walked a little old lady across the street, and he he had a pocket knife in his truck that he used for whittling wood for little orphan children, and then he killed a man.
I didn't think walking into a house that was being built was illegal. Where was
Uh,
his justification for? Wait a
he
minute.
he black. He black though.
Yeah, I just
He
want to
black.
figure out what was he thinking.
He thinking he black.
Now she's not gonna come up there and say, "Well, he's scared of black people." I mean, he's not gonna say she. Well, if she was smart, she wouldn't say that.
You don't hunt something you're afraid of. You know what I'm saying? She's trying her what she's trying to do, I think, is because part of the sentencing process is the aggravating or extenuating circumstances, and she's trying to head that part off to say that it was a crime in the heat of the moment, so that the civil rights federal charges, if they come, she can try to help lead that away and then try to get him parole. That's I think that was her whole game because they knew they were done. I mean, life was happening,
Yeah, she said he was guilty. The jury found him guilty. Well, she didn't say he was guilty. She said the jury found him guilty.
right? So her job at this point is how do I give him a chance that at some point he dies outside the prison?
Yeah.
I think that's her, all of them, all their attorneys. That was their goal at that point.
Well, the good news is, the good news is, I did find the prosecutor and the judge. So we're gonna have to push it on now. Let's get to this dude who I can't remember what he said that was so stupid, but let's keep in mind that he's gonna say something that was stupid.
Versus those people who deserve to be punished but then hold out hope for redemption. Those are the acts the court should consider. Mr. McMichael was a devoted father to Everett. He had Everett 50% of the time, shared custody with Everett's mom, and in fact, early on was shown to be the more reliable parent, although I know that changed over time with his mom stepping up. He was a friend to many people who are now too scared to come to court and speak on his behalf. As the court knows from the testimony it heard in trial and at the bond hearing, he was always a hard worker, always had a job, never laid around letting other people support him, always paid taxes, always supported his community in a variety of ways.
He paid taxes. I paid.
I'm trying to get it. Was that a little sleight of hand with the whole? He didn't lay around. Always.
Yep, he
employed.
wasn't lazy like Ahmaud Arbery, who got
Oh,
shot
okay.
for no
Well,
reason.
that's what I was.
I think it was more like okay, I'm not gonna name whose funeral this was, but it sticks out to me because I was a kid, and the funeral, like nobody had anything good to say about the deceased except he was a good neighbor, and you knew that if somebody was around your house that shouldn't be there, he was gonna let you know. That was it. Like, there ain't a whole lot of good stuff to say. We all know he
And
was kind of a jerk.
I like how he threw the mother under the bus. I'm like, what did she do?
They tried to save him at the last second. Although I
He,
think
was,
she's
he didn't lay around. Okay, he did what every other working person in this country does. Okay, and then he killed a man.
Yeah, that's
that
there you go.
I'm like, oh.
He was good up until that day.
Sorry, definitely didn't want to bring him back up. All right,
But you know, out of all the attorneys, he was the most competent one.
he
No.
probably
The first one was better than the second one. The second one, I'm like, he done threw the mama
You
up
like
his
the lady.
lady under the bus. Dang, what's she doing?
I'm talking about like through the entirety of this trial. The last guy you just showed, he's the one you would hear talking like in the background, who used complete thoughts and sentences. But the lady and then Bryant's attorney. Those are the ones that were constantly dropping racist statements. They were making up things as they go along. They would just like object just to see what would happen. Yeah. I mean, anyway, it still gets to me that how many killings continue to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we finally got we couldn't avenge Emmett Till. So 60 years later, we get these guys.
No justice for Tamir Rice or Breonna Taylor,
Nope.
or it's just too many to name. I won't even start.
Like it had to be the perfect situation. It couldn't be video without sound. It couldn't be sound without video. It
Couldn't be
couldn't be.
witnesses without video.
He shouldn't have been black. I mean, let's
Uh,
just
The
he
only
took
thing it literally took it was a sloppy crime. It was a good old fashioned posse lynching,
Yep.
but they had family and connections like former President 45 who would run interference in the right places. And it took somebody who was not part of the system to mess it up. You know what I mean? Like the Roddy Bryant cat, he's the only one who did not grow up under any form of police culture. So he didn't have those connections. He probably acted out of stupidity and fear. And then now everybody got to go. Because if not for just him, there would have been absolutely no
nope,
accountability.
nope.
and people got to keep this in mind too. When I say it had to be the perfect situation, I mean the perfect situation at trial. Because it didn't stop. You got to also remember these people went there live for another 60 days after the murder.
Right.
So it wasn't that perfect.
Well, I said it was a sloppy crime, but it
Yeah.
was perfect from the standpoint of the community was protecting them. And it took something to break it. It took someone being sloppy and the wrong person catching it at the right time for it to blow open. That's why when I look at this whole trial, I'm glad they're going to prison because they're killers. Anybody who's out killing people needs to go to jail. I don't care what color you are. But I can't celebrate this thing because this should be a given. So my problem is, had it not been one piece that is actually outside of the justice system, because the justice system worked to protect these guys.
Yep.
It took something outside of the justice system to make the justice system do something. That's a problem. How many people are right now in their grave or their final resting place, but because there wasn't the right mistake, we don't know nothing.
And even when situations are perfect, look at and I always get these confused because there's just too many of them. Eric Gardner, that was right on tape, him being assaulted, the cop still walked.
But he was a big black man.
Big black scary man.
He was a big black man. Same reason they used for Mike Brown. Big black man. If you are over 6 feet tall, definitely if you're at 6'2" or better, and you're a black man, and you're not rail thin, you're a monster.
But Tamir
in
Rice
these
was a
people's
little
eyes.
boy.
Tamir Rice was a matter of, ooh, gun, shoot. So it's like we're trying to some people are trying to figure out rationale for people who hate you.
Well, because we're dealing with.
It's like
I wonder how they got him the police force in the first place.
it's very easy because that's who's already running it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
How you get on the police force? You fill out the application.
yeah, the people who are there are just like
You
you.
know what I mean.
We
No,
never
I mean,
said
but the
these
people who are
wasn't
there
bright
are just
people
like you.
were. We never said these people were bright.
Like, think about this: if you grew up in a mentality where others are scary, Gun culture is life. You are the inheritance of the nation, meaning the country is yours, and you got an ego issue. There's only two places to go: law enforcement and the military. And where we having a lot of problems right now with supremacists and extremists, law enforcement and the military. It just makes sense. And then the people who are hiring you are you 20 years from now. So it's
And
the
they're the
whole
ones
that's why the whole thing is just broken.
and they're the ones that's training you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
not to know
training
the
you to be
difference between
afraid
a
of
taser and a
everything.
gun.
Because you oh yeah, yeah.
No, that was, I'm going to say this, and it's probably completely unpopular, and it may even be wrong. I don't think she intended to do that either. I think she was reacting in the moment. She pulled the wrong thing, and she shot that young man and murdered him. Okay, you still got to go to jail. And it's like, that's the way I see it. You still got to go to
And
jail.
I remember you said that, but hear me out when I say it though. The reason why I don't give her an out is it wasn't like I'm gonna pull this out. I'm gonna give you a warning. If you don't heed my warning, I'm gonna shoot.
Oh, I
No,
agree.
this woman pulled out and shot. It
Yep, I
happened,
agree.
even if I go with you, it happened to be the gun.
No, I
But
agree
either
with you.
way, her whole mentality was whatever it is that I'm gonna pull out of this holster is getting discharged the
Yep,
second it goes in the air.
Yeah,
I
she had
agree.
already had said, under normal circumstances, she wouldn't even stop the car.
I get that, but what I'm talking about is kind of like what where Marlon was hitting on, and then in way what you're hitting on. I don't care about any of the stuff around it. I really don't. I don't care that somebody else was the one who initiated the stop, and had it been you, you wouldn't have done the stop. You didn't interfere. You're the ranking officer on the scene. You could have easily called him off. He flashed his lights and then turn them back off, or approach the driver and say, "Sorry about that. It was a misunderstanding. Go on about your way." But you didn't do those things, did you? So for me, I'm coming right to the moment. She, if I remember correctly, she's the one as a training officer, 26 years, I think, on the force. She put the weapons on the same side, which is not normal for police officers. They tend to keep them separate for this very reason. So you're supposed to be like the most competent. So for me, it's like, did she make a mistake and pull the wrong thing? Quite possibly. It's kind of hard to do it to say after the fact. Quite
Mm-hmm.
possibly she did. But what Marlon was saying, I think, is extremely key. And that is your internal bias was what was the difference between pulling and warning and deciding that you're going to fire immediately. You didn't have a chance for your brain to see that the thing you're holding doesn't match what you think it should be. If you didn't have a bias against that person in front of you right now, then
That's right.
you would have caught that. But you didn't.
That's
Because your
exactly
brain said disobedient, black, boom.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Your mindset was already set as soon as your hand touched the holster.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you pulled the wrong thing. Hey, lady, I agree with you. You did pull the wrong thing, but your mind was already set of whatever it is that I'm gonna pull, it's gonna get discharged.
And
Period.
that's when you get
You
me and
already
Tracy
had your
with,
mind
and
set,
then you killed a man.
and then you killed him. Let's move on to Mr. K here, Esquire.
Mr. Goff. Our third and last.
Oh, I'm sorry to cut in. This is the video I want y'all to pay attention to the judge's face when he
I think
opens
this is
his
the one I
lips.
watched. Oh goodness.
Oh my God, this was so funny. But here we go.
Mr. Goff. Our third and last formal written motion is a motion to vacate the illegal felony murder convictions based on double jeopardy. And I don't want to be accused of plagiarizing.
an inmate apparently from the Michigan criminal prison system. Mr. Sires was kind enough to draft a motion for me to file, and even went out and found Georgia case law. Your Honor, I have to confess it doesn't quite reconcile with my memory of all of the Georgia case law, but the argument's pretty good. Mr. Bryan was acquitted of count 2, felony murder. There is only one felony murder statute, and therefore, once you've been acquitted of felony murder in count 2, double jeopardy bars conviction under counts 3, 4, and 5. The argument.
I'm going to stop because the rest of it is the same.
I'm going to law school. That's it. Forget about being a social worker. That's it. I'm done.
Well, he might as well. I mean, it look like he ain't go.
I'm like, did he go to law school? Did he watch episodes of Perry Mason and think, oh, gee, I'll catch on?
Yo, he struck me off like Lindsey Graham presents a case. That's what he's. Yeah.
That judge just looked at him and went, dude, did your argument just come from jail?
Hey, now first of all, jailhouse attorneys be on their stuff a lot of times.
Yeah, because they got research and they become. This guy was like
up until recently because the prisons are taking the books from him.
Yeah, it's just like Otis. It's like he went and asked Otis the drunk in Mayberry, "Hey, give me something," and
then didn't read up on it.
It sounds good to me. Like, oh, I'm going to law school. That's it. I'm finished. I'm going to law. That's it. Forget about
the judge. Like,
forget about.
So I got this thing.
Yeah, it don't sound right. I don't know what.
Don't blame me, but what the inmate said is.
The inmate said was.
And it sounds good.
It sounds like double jeopardy. The judge looked at him and went, did this fool just say he got his argument? Oh, at that point, the judge was going, I'm so glad this is the last day. If I ever see your name on a piece of paper coming into my court again, you're not coming in.
And he's actually went and he passed the bar. Somehow that man passed the bar. How?
Because that man knows his community. And he knows what sells and what. Look.
But
he
said he didn't even read it.
We can sit here and go, oh boy, all we want to. And rightfully so. But all the stuff that we're picking on him about, I guarantee you, we looked at his past cases, he won all using those same tactics.
Yeah, the gosh, shucks, golly.
I'm like, is he gonna go all Mayberry and then walk down the creek with a fishing pole with a little OP? I'm like,
that's what he wants you to feel. That's what he was going for. He wanted to paint this image of him and his client as regular guys from the community. You know, gosh, shucks, oh gee, oh my.
Apple pie on the ledge.
He's painting himself as the community. I am one of you. I just so happen to be I just happen to be a lawyer. But
who's representing the man who killed somebody?
I'm representing the community. I am one of you.
I got it from an inmate. I didn't read it. It sounded right.
You did come off as if you just picked this up. Like somebody just handed it to you. Like, and this looks like it's a
double jeopardy. I'm like, that means that he would have been.
This dude tried.
I can't.
He tried it, but the prosecuting lady, she was too sharp for it.
Mickey,
Mickey. Get him.
I put it out on my page. If you stop all that time petting your kitty cat, you would have saw on my page that I was on there, that I was coming on.
Ain't nothing wrong with petting your kitty cat. You got to keep it healthy and keep it purring.
And we're going to move on. We're going to move on to.
You don't like cats? Marlon, you don't like cats?
Honestly, I don't. I really honestly don't like cats. I really don't.
I'm a dog man, but I like cats.
I'm a dog man. I can't stand cats.
Well, I like a certain type of cat, but
I like a certain type of cat.
They all look alike to me. I'm like,
no, not some cats.
Oh my God, Mickey.
sorry, we didn't.
Oh my!
Girl, what are you doing? Look,
Yes. Oh my.
I think they just coming for you now. This is Mickey say hi and they come looking for him.
Your high threatening the Facebook community, and I love cats and dogs and all animals. I just can't stand people. Well,
Don't get me started on people. Oh,
you came in at the wrong time, big, because I don't got rid of all the bad people. Here's the good people. We're gonna go on to the prosecutor, who, like I said, I'm giving her kudos. She pulled no punches, told it like it is. Now we want to war it down and go. That's your job. You supposed whatever. I done seen some sucky little prosecutors. We literally just finished it.
yeah, but you know what, Marlon? Before you flip out, though, the thing about her though is she's just like the GBI guy. They had to be brought in from the city.
yep.
These are all outsiders, and like even the judge, you can tell he's not from there. He might have grown up there, let's just say, but he ain't been there in a while. It took something from outside to, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how strong is she on her own turf. I don't know, but she did her job. She did good.
All right, let's get into it.
That Greg McMichael has shown no remorse or empathy because he's unable to. Well, Greg McMichael was a law enforcement officer. But what he did on May 5th of 2020 was release evidence in an ongoing investigation into himself and to his son. Greg McMichael's the one who released the video to the media. He went to Mr. Bryan and said, hey, give me your phone, I'm going to take it to my lawyer, took it to his lawyer and had his lawyer release it publicly because he believed it was going to exonerate him. That's interference with administration of justice. Yes, we did not charge him with obstruction or anything like that. But the fact of the matter is this is someone who was in law enforcement for years and actually actively pursued evidence in a case against him to be released to the media because he believed that that video showed he and his son were not guilty of anything. That's 2 months afterwards. The state's position is he hasn't changed his mind. The state's position is he and his son still believe they didn't do anything wrong. And that is a lack of remorse or empathy. The idea that he did not intend the death of Ahmaud Arbery, once again, he's a law enforcement officer, got a gun, went running after somebody. The jury did find that he intended to commit false imprisonment, criminal attempt at false imprisonment, aggravated assault with that pickup truck, and aggravated assault with that shotgun. And we all know that felony murder has a foreseeability component to it. Ahmaud Arbery's death was foreseeable, and especially foreseeable to someone in law enforcement. The idea that they wanted to get to the bottom of what an unknown person was doing in some neighbor's house, a neighbor they didn't even know, goes back to our vigilantism. This whole idea that they were trying to help the neighborhood out has been an excuse from both Travis and Greg McMichael. Ms. Hogue got up here and said, this wasn't advancing the progression of the crime. And I apologize for this once again, Your Honor, but stop or I'll blow your fucking head off. I think that really advances the progression of the crime. You're threatening to murder somebody. You're threatening to kill him if he does not stop. And referring back to the post records produced in the bond hearing, Greg McMichael was so not paying attention to his job as a law enforcement officer that he was not post-certified from January of 2006 through 2014. He was an investigator in the district attorney's office, and he let his post-certification lapse from 2006 to 2014, 8 years. I won't even go into what that could have meant to those cases that were prosecuted by the district attorney's office. He then lost the post-certification again in 2018, and Jackie Johnson had to make an accommodation and change his designation at his job just so he could keep his job through retirement. This attitude of I'm special and I'm above the law and the law doesn't apply to me and I can take my gun and I can run after people and confront the homeless guy under the bridge and then call the police later about it. That's vigilantism, and that is the main reason. The thoughtlessness, the remorselessness, the desire so to be special and protect himself and his family by taking evidence and releasing it publicly when he knows there's an ongoing investigation is the reason we are asking for life without the possibility of parole. And with regard then to Travis McMichael. There's a reason, Your Honor, you did not grant bond to Travis and Greg McMichael. Mr. Rubin went back to all of those things listed in the bond hearing. The state will also direct the court to things the state presented in the bond hearing, including his text messages with all of his offensive racial animus and language. The jury did find that he had an abandoned and malignant heart. That's exactly what the jury found. They were given that he intentionally went ahead and did this, or the other level, abandoned and malignant heart. In addition, I will remind the court that there's an old saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And it's great that they had such good intentions to protect the neighborhood. But the thoughtlessness, the lack of vision to know how this could go terribly, terribly wrong. And the fact of the matter is, Your Honor, it was a year and a half. February 23rd, 2020. November 2021, Travis came in here and testified. The state asks that you take into consideration his demeanor, his attitude. He said, this was the worst day of my life. Well, how'd that work out for Ahmaud Arbery?
Yeah, I like her.
Told you.
I mean, not my overall opinion didn't change, but because she's still a prosecuting attorney. But yeah, I like her. She did good. Yeah, Mickey, that was cool. Like the judge would let them just run their mouth for a minute, and then he'd be like, "Yeah, no."
While have you, D. Aaron is watching us on Facebook. Did not know that Facebook, they won't show comments on Facebook. The system is I don't like that.
Hey Tracy, are you getting the buzz? Okay.
You still
Not
getting
when the video plays, but when we come back, yep.
Yeah, if it's quiet, I get a buzz. But like if somebody's talking or when the video's playing, I don't. I don't think it's your mic. I think it's just maybe something in like feedback or something. I don't know. Yep. And then they killed a man. He
Not
led
this-
prayer at the local soda shop and got his sweetheart a stuffed bear at the carnival. And
Did she say something about they were married for 60-something years or 30-something or 40? I don't know.
Who cares? They could have been married
Oh,
2
I
weeks
would-
or 5 years.
they
Who
can
knows me?
continue to be married for the next 25 to life.
That's what I'm saying. They can stay married.
Be married. I don't think they are because she's got to protect that pension. So, gonna be
No, if
just
she
like
divorces him, she won't get a pension, right?
it all depends on how they do it. Because remember with Derek Chauvin's wife, as soon as he was going down for the count, they found a way to work that thing out for her. So
yeah, but she
'cause,
divorced him. So,
yeah,
because
she did. But you got to protect your money. You got to protect your assets.
She didn't give it up that cash.
So there's gonna be some maneuvering that's already been happening.
I love you, dear. I hope the best for you.
But I gotta eat.
But I'm gonna leave now. So far, the video is the judge. Like I said, I already gave what the verdict was. Only thing I can say about this judge is the judge already had made up his mind. Basically, these whole 2 hours or however long we was listening to these arguments about don't give up, you know, with the possibility of parole and everything. I honestly think the way this judge was talking, he been made up his mind. So the worst case scenario, I think the defense was talking more or less for the appeal because they're
Yeah,
going to be. But the judge had already made up his mind a long time ago.
the Bryant guy's attorney, even the oh shucks gosham attorney,
Yeah.
he even mentioned it because I saw that at the part that I did watch earlier. He was talking about the appeal. So yeah, it's coming.
Well, at the very end, the judge did say, um, you have the right to an appeal. And it was sort of like giving your right. It sounded like he was getting arrested all over again. You have a right to appeal. You have a right to your attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, what will be a prison? I was like, so you rearresting him, or what are you doing? But
Got
that's
to
what
make
you
sure
did.
they got to make
Yes.
sure you tell him about all his rights.
So here's the last video. This is the judge, and like I said, the judge hit every point. It was the last thing that he said that just uh, uh, let's just play the video.
We have in this case. I'll start with Greg McMichael. In my opinion, Greg McMichael very early on in this tried to establish a narrative. He made comments like, Ahmaud Arbery was trapped like a rat. Stop or I'll blow your, and I won't repeat it again, head off. He effectively admitted that he wasn't sure what Ahmaud Arbery had done wrong. Quote, I don't think the guy has actually stolen anything out there, or if he did, it was early in the process. But he keeps going back over and over again into this damn house. Again, back to the narrative. Told Travis, you have no choice. Told another individual at the scene, this guy ain't no shuffler. This guy's an asshole. Commented that he wanted him, Ahmaud Arbery, to know that we weren't playing. If I could have gotten a shot at the guy, I would have shot him. Travis McMichael claims he was in shock. But it's interesting because he talks about his concern for his child and his own well-being. Part of this was while the victim was actually laying there in the street. Commented, this is the worst day of my life. Well, I think it's been touched on here today. There were other individuals that were impacted. I'll look at the video of this incident. When I say the video, I think everybody knows what we're talking about, but there was one part of it that struck me as absolutely chilling, and that is, I believe it's in the enhanced video provided by the GBI. There's a frame where I believe Ahmaud Arbery, it looks to be, if he's 20 yards out, that may be close, 30 yards out. And it's the frame of Travis McMichael lifting the shotgun to fire at Ahmaud Arbery. And you watch that with context. And when I say context, after hearing the evidence in this case, again, thinking about a young man that had been running at that point for almost 5 minutes, and it is a truly disturbing scene. And we got there because Travis McMichael's father saw Ahmaud Arbery hauling down the street and calls out, let's go. At that point, Travis McMichael, despite whatever may have been going on in his life at that time, with regard to family or otherwise, just goes, grabs a shotgun and goes because he assumes that it is the right thing to do. Ahmaud Arbery was then hunted down and shot. And he was killed because individuals here in this courtroom took the law into their own hands. Mr. Bryan, he joined in after calling out to the McMichaels. Y'all got him? Claimed he didn't know what was going on, but obviously wanted to know if this individual who was running through the neighborhood, who he didn't know, had been caught in some way. Said, quote, "I figured he'd done something wrong, but I didn't know for sure." Or that wasn't actually the quote. Those quotes are two separate quotes. "Didn't know for sure. I thought he would get away." And this is the part that is disturbing to me with Roddy Bryant. If the guy would have stopped, this would have never happened. All of these quotes give context, I think, to the video that we saw during the case. And Miss Wanda Cooper Jones this morning made a statement that I think, when you look at these statements and you see the videos, is very true. And that is, she said, when they could not scare or intimidate him, they killed him. There's been discussion about remorse. And I agree with counsel that it is dangerous for defendants who have multiple prosecutions against them to make statements of remorse. But remorse isn't something that is simply a statement of regret. Remorse, I think, can be determined by looking at somebody's reaction to difficult circumstances and the reality of the situation that they're in. Again, it doesn't require an apology, and quite honestly, sometimes apologies are made simply to get past problems. Remorse is something that's felt and demonstrated. In this case, getting back to the video, again, after Ahmaud Arbery fell, the McMichaels turned their backs. It's, again, a disturbing image, and they walked away. This was a killing. It was callous, and it occurred, as far as
it was the last statement. First of all, that's De'Aaron. No, that's De'Aaron. De'Aaron, the one we always be going back and forth on Facebook.
Oh, okay. What's
up?
Man?
What's up, Dave?
What's up, family?
De'Aaron is good people. De'Aaron is just one that me, Theus, and him, when we have a discussion, it ain't no, yeah, I agree. Yeah, It's like 3-4 paragraphs, and then.
No, I appreciate that, man, because I need that. That's what social media is supposed to be, man. People actually having complete thoughts, agreeing in piece or in whole or in part, you know what I mean? Or not at all, you know? So I look forward to my interactions with the brother, because far too often you get people who just are talking out their butts, man.
You know what? I would rather, and see, here's why I mess with D. Because I know what I'm reading has good context to it. Compared to, I'm just going to write a whole bunch of crap because I know that you're not going to read it. I'm going to stick in some facts, but the rest of it is going to be BS anyway. And you're not going to know the difference because, again, you're not going to read the whole freaking thing. I've met people like that. I've met people who write 3-4 paragraphs of BS, and it's like one fact in there. But you know you're not going to read the whole freaking thing because I just don't want to read your crap.
Those people be right, because I glaze over. If you don't, if it's not coherent, I'll give
you the first shot. I'll read the whole thing. After a while, it's just like, dude, I can't do this no more. You're not making any sense. And here's the deal. And I don't want to say you're full of BS because you're gonna come back with another 4 paragraphs trying to explain to me why you not. I don't care. I just read your first one. You had one fact among 15 lies. Do you really think I'm gonna read your next book?
Yeah, but I if I try to read a long, because I write long, I use way too many words.
I asked the same question, Mickey. Like, he wasn't shot because he was an intruder. He was shot because there were a bunch of racist idiots that decided, ooh, scary black man, let's shoot him and kill him.
And I'll take it even a little bit further because like that like lets it paint it as the evil white man in the country thing, that image that comes up. But it's if you like I'm from the South, right? So there's a way of unspoken rules, understandings,
Yep.
right? And what got my brother murdered, what got my brother lynched, was not just that he was black, not just that he was black in somebody else's neighborhood. No, 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 no. What got him murdered was these white men felt that they are above him. So when they encountered him and he did not show the proper deference, it elevated it.
He said it.
Yeah.
He literally said it. If only he would have stopped, this wouldn't happen. Fool! Why?
If you hadn't chased them down with
Why?
a gun in your
Why
truck,
would
They
this wouldn't have
chased
happened.
him. They headed him off 3 different times. It took over 5 minutes of chasing a man on foot with you guys in pickup trucks. If you from the South and don't know what that image is, then you're probably
you?
racist.
The only thing that was
So,
seriously, the only thing that was missing was the banjo music. And I
I'm
know
sure.
and I know I'm trying to be funny, but I'm really not trying to be funny. If you picture the image of a bunch of white men in a pickup truck chasing a black man down, do you not think the soundtrack is some boat of some
When I heard,
that's the only thing you hear. Why? Because we've had that image for so many years. You can either look it up in the movies or you can read it in an autobiography. But it has happened.
yeah,
And
if you
you
ever,
know
you ever
and
want to
for
have
me,
the feeling of that moment, just watch the first opening 30 minutes of A Time to Kill. You know, uh, and like
Mississippi,
I
Mississippi
didn't run
Burn,
into this Mississippi Burning, yeah.
yeah.
But it's it was a blend of you ain't from around here, boy. Exactly, you ain't from
Yep.
around here, boy. When I ask you a question, you answer me, boy. Oh, you think you don't have to answer me? Well, I'm gonna stop you again until you answer me, boy. And then when you still ain't gonna do it, now I'm gonna get out with a shotgun and I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna blow your head off if you don't sit here and you don't answer me, boy. And then you kill him
And then
It
I don't
because
never
at that
occurred to
point
them to call
he
the
and
meant
police.
nothing.
It never.
I don't want to hear no more about all he has to do to comply. Y'all have proven that's not how that works.
It really
But
You
we're
doesn't.
have
not listening.
proven that's not how that works. You have proven all you got to do is comply and you will be okay. You lied. You have proven all you got to do is answer my questions and you'll be okay. You lied. You have proven all you got to do is be nice. You lied. You have proven that time and time again. So you can't even sit there and tell me, oh, all he had to do was stop. No,
The
no.
reason why they can, but Marlon, the reason they can keep saying that is because we keep believing it. We still center the white culture and experience to our own detriment to the point that even in the face of an open onslaught against our people, we still sit there and look for the better part of them. We still look for that humanity that's absent in this moment. So yeah, they can keep saying these things, but the reason they can continue to say it is because they know the ones who are involved. So this ain't like everybody. So don't please don't everybody go that route with me.
Well,
But
if you don't, if you,
Don't keep.
if you're still, oh, made me hit my computer. Y'all pissing me off. If you still sit there and talk about, well, not everybody. Shut up. Shut up. We know.
yeah, but you know it always comes. You know what I'm saying? And it's not always the white person who knows themselves to not be what I'm talking about. More often than not, your allies, your white allies who actually are moving with us, they already know I'm not talking to them. They already know I ain't talking about them but it will be some of our own who wear the same jersey who want to sit there and try to cape and be that magical Negro and sit there and be like, well, what about Billy and what about Mary and Clyburn and and Timmy? Y'all gone somewhere. All right. I'm talking about we are literally at war. We've been at war since we got here. And I'm saying that it's time to stop pretending that things are not what you see. It's real, folks. I'm not saying walk through life every day with strapped up to the hilt, scared of the world, but I'm saying know the world's out to get you and be ready to respond if it comes for you.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah. It's oops, you do that.
But it's only like $3.99 YouTube movie.
it's gonna be hard to find it free because it's one of those movies. You know what I'm saying? It's like me trying to find John Wick or any of the Bourne movies. I can't get them anywhere, man. Everybody wants me to pay for it. You know what I'm
YouTube.
saying?
Yeah, how
The
dare you
good ones you got to pay for.
not
Yeah.
watch Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? I mean, and I want to watch something good.
And you came up with Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
I could have said These Martian Wives, but I didn't.
Hey, but you know what? Mars Attacks. That is a good movie.
That's
That's
They
a
don't.
good
that was just
movie.
funny as crap.
That was a good movie.
if you
And
if you can
Mom
figure
and
out
Dad
a
Saved the
movie,
World. I still love that movie.
God, Mars Attack, you we pick on certain things because of how it is. We pick on horror movies because come on, how you can't be that dumb. You pick on westerns because dude, you got a 6 shooter, but I ain't seen you reload one time and you done shot everybody about 20, 30, 40 times. Like a freaking machine. We pick on movies like this for that. Until you get a movie that goes, I'm gonna put every stereotype that I can think
In
of.
one movie.
Just
Let's
one
put them all in
movie.
one movie.
Don't
Those are the good movies.
don't be a menace.
Yo,
I'm
tell
gonna
me you
Oh
put
didn't
boy.
every
enjoy.
stereotype
Tell
in that
me
one
you
movie.
didn't enjoy Sharknado.
I have never seen Sharknado.
Oh, you
Don't
gotta
watch
watch
it.
it.
I
It
didn't
is
enjoy
so
it. It's so
terrible that
it's
it's good.
it's the same plot. The shark gets
No, just watch the
crazy.
first one. Don't
Okay.
don't yeah.
Yeah,
Just
don't
watch
watch.
the first
No,
one.
watch them all because because you watch one, you pretty much watch them all.
Yeah, just watch
You
the
know what?
first one.
We should have known this about Mickey. I should have known.
Maybe you should get a blog. That way they can't kick her off.
We can put Mickey on here.
No, I said
Yeah,
Mickey should get a blog. That way she can get in there daily.
yeah, I don't blame you,
You
Nikki,
scared Mickey
for
gonna come on
Mickey. I'm
here
sorry.
and cut her head
I don't
off?
blame you, Mickey, for that Netflix joint because, like, the only reason I still pay for Netflix is because my family insists that they get to watch it, and they don't even watch it that much.
I,
So, like, they got me paying for Netflix, Hulu, all
Oh
this stuff.
shoot, I
I'm
didn't
like,
cancel Hulu, I didn't cancel Paramount, I've canceled all of them. I'm like
I
Tubi.
got my YouTube TV and I'm straight.
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
do
just
have
stick with you.
Netflix, but now that Lucifer is done with and over with, I'm sort of like,
Nope, I got rid of all my ones I'm paying for. I'm like, nope.
well, y'all know I like really dumb, sappy type stuff for my entertainment. So, like on Netflix, the only thing I'm watching right now is New Girl with Zoe Deschanel because I think she's fun, and I'm watching Mike and Molly again. So I'm watching that on HBO Plus, HBO Max, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I like those quirky kind of joints because my reality is always so charged.
Yeah, Mickey, I did what you did. I'm like, Tubi is free. Tubi is free. It's free.
Yeah, but I mean, how many
Free.
times can you watch Problem Child? I'm just saying.
They got a bunch of stuff on there. I'm like, you know what? Only reason I had Hulu was to watch the Golden Girls. So I'm like, I can watch it on YouTube.
I watched Fuller House. I think
Ew.
I watched
Fuller
it.
House, the reboot of Full House.
Yeah, I know which one it is.
The first 2 seasons was really good.
What about 3, 4, and 5?
Hell if I know because I didn't watch it.
Isn't that when Aunt Becky went to jail?
that's pretty much why I probably stopped watching. It was like, nah, I'm good. Y'all go do y'all thing. Because after a certain,
Really interesting pivot off of the Arbery trial. But yeah, Fuller House, Uncle Jesse.
okay, so let's end the Aubrey. Let's end the Aubrey trial. Fuck y'all, rotten hell, rotten jail. Live the life that you were supposed to, which is what you are, you sucker little murderers.
And die slow.
Slowly.
Cause see,
I'm not gonna say any of that.
I don't have to advocate for the redemption story.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Because
you reap what you sow. That's all I can say.
Still going back to the point of I'm not feel sorry for your life of which you are still living.
Nope, not that one I won't.
Do you get what I'm saying? You can miss me, bruh. You are still living.
They could always tap out. If that's how they feel about it, they could always tap out. That's their choice.
Hey,
I believe everybody should have their choices of how they live their lives.
I,
Because there's a lot to it.
I
There's a lot
believe
to
I
it.
can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. This is pretty much why I don't give a rat's ass what happened to them. I
Nope.
believe. Oh, good God!
See,
why am I
see,
thinking
I-
R. Kelly of all people? Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say.
believe
Oh,
I believe that you find uh closure, you make peace when the fighting is done. So my side is not the aggressor in all of this. So long as somebody else is the aggressor, don't come looking to me to make peace with you. I want nothing but the worst for you.
Pretty
All
much.
the bad things. Now, if you stop attacking my people, then we can kumbaya.
No, you ain't wrong, Mickey. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong worth a damn.
but they gonna seclude him. No way he gets mixed in with the general population.
Now, and plus in prison, so prison, it's I don't care what you came from on the outside, right? It's all based on your ethnicity when you're on the inside. So they won't put him with black guys.
We still
You know
have
what I'm
places
saying?
like
Unless he's in the
jails.
medical unit.
We have jails that has golf courses.
You
Oh,
mean
they ain't getting
prison?
those.
Because you,
They-
oh no, I'm not saying
They're not.
that. I was agreeing with what you were saying. Was jails these days cater, not these days, it's been going on for a while, but jails cater to who the criminals are. So if you was brought up rich your whole life, never had to scrape for nothing, you do something wrong, they find you guilty of everything else. Well, gosh, we don't want you to commit suicide or anything, so we're going to put you in jail, but we're going to put you in an environment that caters to you.
What they do to you.
So you have a jail that has a golf course, that has a tennis court, where you're more outside than you are inside. Your
But
food
that's
caters
only if
to your
you in
diet.
for a
A white
money
collar
crime.
crime.
You got to be in for a
Yeah.
money crime or a
Yeah,
connected politics crime, right? If you just a run of the mill white dude who did something grimy, yeah, they're gonna put you in the
yeah,
grimy side of the prison just like
Yep.
everybody else. But you gonna have to now you got to sign on with the white supremacist crew because otherwise you got to be a free agent and you won't last too long in there as a free agent. So it's like this whole thing. What I suspect is going to happen, Roddy Bryant, the video man, is going to be somebody's girlfriend. And the brother, I mean, the gunman, he's going to be like some kind of folk hero. And the dad is going to be like a medical unit where he's just constantly under lock and key because he was a cop. That's what I think is going to happen.
Somebody's girlfriend.
I mean, and I'm not advocating that. That's actually one of those things that like I'm so firmly against. Like the whole concept of prison rape is just disgusting to me, in that
it is.
that shouldn't even be possible. Your prison sentence is to go to prison. That's your sentence,
Yeah, not to
right?
get raped.
Not all that other stuff that goes on in there that the government and we the people allow. Because if we the people actually cared enough, then we would be changing those types of things. But most of us don't care enough because we treat prisoners as throwaway people. But that's a whole nother conversation. Um, but yeah, but he ain't gonna do too hot.
Let's put it to you
He ain't
this
gonna
way.
do hot.
Let's
They
let's
gonna
put
get Roddy.
let's put it to you this way, Tracy.
Somebody's girlfriend.
He's going in, Ronnie.
He
He's
gonna have a
coming out.
hard time.
He's
He
coming
gonna
out.
have a real hard time up in
If he
there.
if he
And
gets
this,
probation, he's coming out Ronda.
no, I don't know. He might come out. He might come out, but he's gonna be broken. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna be a shattered shell of himself. That man look like he already been crying.
Well, he should have thought about that before he started videotaping. Like, well, let me pull out my camera.
Well, forget the videotaping. He should have thought about that before he joined the posse.
Yeah, should have been like, wait, this ain't right.
So you get what you get at this point. But my thing, and this is just a weird pivot, I know, but my thing is it comes down to the prison system itself. It should not be a gladiator school. Your punishment, according to the laws of this country, your punishment is isolation in jail. That's your punishment. And you gotta do whatever labor, but then that's another discussion too, because we're right back to convict leasing. But still, your punishment is by the court is time. You should not be in physical mortal danger trying to serve out your time. I just don't think that should be the case. But
It is, and
I
hear
don't
what you're
know.
saying.
I have a terrible thought, and I hope nobody jumps on me for saying this. Do you think these verdicts are going to stand?
oh yeah.
And
These guys ain't getting out. Mm. There ain't no appeal in the world gonna let
you
these
talking
guys.
about appeal and appeal.
I think they got. There's a part of me that says I don't think they're going to stick.
Here's
yeah.
the worst. Here's the worst thing that I could. Here's the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario. The worst case scenario that they throw out the 30 years. But at this point, we're talking about you're putting somebody in a jail who's in his 60s. You have to do 30 because they're gonna keep the life sentence. So at the very least, you're gonna have to do 20 to 30. So at the very most, you're coming out. You will be pissed off and angry and mad and everything else, but we're looking at a 90-something-year-old dude walking out the jail.
Yeah, I don't think that the dad is gonna make it out at all.
No.
He'll get at best. Like I don't even think they could win anything on appeal, honestly. But let's say they did. I think the dad could come away with life with parole. In which case he could do 15 or 20 out of the 25. The son, he's done. Like he's done. He's a trigger man. He's done. And then Roddy Bryant, the man who cries.
It's the opposite way. I would really think that the dad is done and the son would get some more.
I don't see the son getting any leniency because the son showed like no remorse or no higher function, and he was the gunman, right? He's the one who orchestrated the roundup. He's the one who got out the truck. He's the one who grabbed the shotgun. He's the one who had all the interactions with Ahmaud. He's the one. You know what I mean? Like he's in it.
But are we not counting in the fact that this whole thing started with Hillbilly Dad, who decided I'm going to, because we got to take into account that you was a cop, dude.
But the son was too.
You broke every, I hate to say it, cop rule there is out there. You acted.
But cops are unaccountable.
Yeah,
cops are unaccountable. There are no rules for cops. It's just expectations. And the son has a background too, because when the son was in the Coast Guard, he was in the security forces. So he has a background in law enforcement. They both do. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I think the dad, because of his age, health, white male, no priors, he will get what it'll be the best deal. And then the little nut job at the very end of the line, um, he might be able to get away with like a 15-year bid if he turns,
I got him at 15, 20.
but but
It's the
he's
most
gonna have a hard 15. So
help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda.
Not me, Mickey. I know nothing.
Um,
unfortunately, I know more than I wish I ever had to. But I'm far from a legal
I,
expert.
I was about to go that way. I do and I don't because there is some things that I could just look up or ask my attorney friends, colleagues about which some with even some of them are going, really? That happened? You are an
Yo,
attorney, right? Oh, okay. Hey.
see, I believe that in order to know how to um, fight back or contest your opposition, you have to understand their points of view and their history and where they're coming from. And it's not surprising to me that a lot of people, especially in the white community, are completely blind to a lot of the stuff we're talking about. And so from the angle that we're coming from. Because to be white in America is to have the option not to know.
Yep.
Now, when you're poor and white, then it's less of an option, right? But it's still an option because there are things about America that get out of your way. It is not easy to be an American and be white. It's not. It's not easy to be white and be an American. It's not easy, but it's not made harder because you're white. And that's where a lot of the breakdown ends up happening.
And yeah, that's one key fundamental is especially when people say, well, I work hard too. I work just as hard. Nobody gave me anything. We didn't say that anybody gave you anything. We're not saying that you worked hard. You may have worked hard darn near all your life to get exactly what it is that you got. What I'm saying is the opportunities that came from your hard work, it's a little bit easier when you're
But
when
there's
you're
certain obstacles
skin.
that didn't get put in your way. Like I'm not saying it's like think of it like a long race. If you had to run 8 miles with a as they call a rucksack, right? You got 10-pound packs, 20-pound packs, and you got to run 10 miles with this. That's hard, okay? And I'm not going to take away from you that's hard, and it took commitment, it took endurance, it took crying when you wanted to stop, all that, man. I ain't taking none of that from you. But what I'm saying is now do that same thing, and you ain't got no boots. Somebody shooting at you, and you got to jump over the pits and climb some rope ladders. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying?
My deal is let's take that same race. Let's take that 100-yard race. You're neck and neck. You pull ahead. Somehow, for some reason, they dropped the finish line tape. Now you know you ran across. You know you beat the person behind you. You won, but it really didn't count because they dropped the tape and you ran across, and then they picked the tape up when the next person behind you ran. Oh, that person was the one that broke the tape. See, we have these certain rules that you did not win unless you break the tape.
Yeah, you crossed the line, but you ain't break the
You
tape.
crossed the line, but it wasn't within our rules. So because of that, doesn't count.
Yeah, but that's the story. That's the story of America, and that's why there's so much pushback about learning the context of history. Um, but hey, I always I keep coming to the conclusion that like the CRT discussion and they're talking about what they want, what they will and won't let somebody learn. Bet change the discussion and watch how the game plays.
Yeah, like as
Yeah,
extra weight. Yeah,
right. But that's true.
that's exactly what we're saying.
But
And
that's when people don't know their history.
and the reason why I'm even saying that about the race scenario and everything else is because now what you're trying to do is, and this is just my opinion, we've already won the race. So now we're going to make sure that not only did you, we know that you won, we know that you beat us, but we're not going to tell everybody else. We're going to tell everybody else that I won, that I won. On
Mm-hmm.
top of that, not only on top of that, that we're going to tell everybody that I won, that I'm going to go right behind and erase the record books and make sure nobody knows that you won and that I won.
Yeah. One of the most perfect analogies ever, whenever you get into a conversation with someone about systemic racism, and it's somebody that you actually want to spend the time talking to, right? That's two big ifs.
Yeah, that's
But
two real big
you know
ifs.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're in a one-on-one, right, you have a good conversation. Because I'm always looking for those. Um, there's a guy I worked with at a prior job, and we are on opposite ends of the political spectrum. But he's an intelligent dude. But what I did for him was I walked him through the game of Monopoly. That analogy every single time will make the other person pause because they know anything they say is going to be complete BS. Because we've all played Monopoly. You know what I'm saying? So when you help someone understand that, yes, we're playing the exact same game, but the problem here is one player out of all of you got half the money and had to wait 10 rolls of everybody else before they could even start playing. How much property is left by the time that person gets on the board?
Yeah.
How much? What can they do? Even if they happen to be able to buy something, they'll never get all three. And the other players will make sure they never trade with him. How long before it gets to that point where renting is life? Where
Mm-hmm.
your goal is to avoid hotels and houses because you know you can't afford one. Where going to jail is no longer a punishment. It is actually an opportunity to not go bankrupt. This is the reality of America because capitalism is weighing down on all of us.
Yep.
But racism decided that certain players didn't get to participate early on. And there's only so many resources to go around. But hey,
Do you
whatever. I'm
do you
not trying to win nobody over no more. So
no, I'm not. But do you understand? But and this is the funny thing about it is when people even argue, like Nikki said, when people argue there's no systemic racism, and you can point out the fact that certain districts and cities was
destroyed.
was drawn out. Yeah, was drawn out a certain way to show that this area, and I'm not even gonna say any race at all. I'm just gonna give out the facts that certain areas on the map was drawn out to be rich or poor. At the very, I didn't even want to say rich, middle class or poor. And then you understand the fact that they're going to hand these drawings over to the banks because the banks have to know which area is right for investments, loans, home improvement, roads, what have you, and which area is not high risk areas. That's not good for loans for absolutely anything. Do you see the difference of why there's certain areas where that pulling up by the bootstrap crap doesn't even work anymore?
Mm-mm.
But it
When
only
you when you
works if
purpose
you walk
and,
them
That
through.
never works.
And this is why I go out of my way to go. If it wasn't such a big deal to America, why did you do it?
But see, that's where a lot of time, and perhaps this is me being jaded, but that's why I only have those discussions at this point with really other black folk, right? It's not that other people can't see it or learn it or anything like that, but most of our allies who are familiar are already educating themselves.
I agree, Nikki. Yeah. Go ahead, Theo.
No, I was saying most of our allies who are interested, they're already educating themselves. So not my job to teach you anything. You learn, and then we'll work together on projects that we want to work together on. But my concern is how do we make the unconscious black man, black woman into conscious black men and black women?
You have
We need to know our history. Even if nobody else values your
Mhm.
history, even if nobody wants to teach your kids your history, you need to know how the middle class was created and how you were expressly excluded. You need to know that. Because if you understand systemic racism, it doesn't matter who doesn't agree with you, because the only way what they think matters is if you're centering them over you.
but the issue that we've always had in this country with our people is we have screw it. Yeah, I got 15 minutes. Screw it. We have the stigma. That's the word for it. We have the stigma of having to wait till the world freaking burn before we try to learn crap. In other words, we've been, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote. Trump. We got to get out there. We got to march and we got to do this and everything. Bruh, are you serious with this? Because everything that you're pissed off about been happening for 30 damn years. But because it
Yeah,
ain't
yeah.
a cute little catchphrase, it's
Or it's
not in
not
a
happening
song.
fast.
It's not a song. It wasn't in a movie. It didn't apply to you. Do you know how many times I have grew up in this world and I agreed with it? Sorry, I did. Just be honest. I'm about 50 years old, so if y'all judge me, forget y'all. But I did grow up in a society of there is no reason to vote because they already made up their mind who's president.
Okay.
And now I've come to realize that, gee, I wonder who put that out.
But see, Marlon, that's just it. And
That's
and it's
part
like
of it.
I try to look at all the different layers to this, right? And it's as Kwame Ture said, it is the mission of the conscious to make the unconscious conscious. A lot of people who say that they're not going to vote or they're so upset with the Democratic Party that they're going to, maybe will entertain what happens with the other
Yep,
side or
yep.
whatever. One of the big issues is we can't keep telling people to vote and not help them understand why. You see what I'm saying? It's like the Democratic Party, for example, because that's the side that we end up dealing with because the other side is so disgustingly tainted.
Yep.
The Democratic Party, their whole message is vote for me because we're not those guys.
Yep.
Biden.
And
Biden.
right
That's how we got Biden.
now, the emotional play, as I often say, is to be like, well, I'm sick of that messaging.
Hold on.
I'm smart enough to know
Nikki,
you're
I'm going to
playing
answer
with me.
that question once Diaz is done. I am going to answer that question. But go ahead, Nikki.
But don't you think they're? Yeah, I think white
I'm
people
sorry.
can
I'm
learn, of
sorry. I'm
course.
sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, sir, no, sir. I think a lot of people can learn. I think everybody, well, not everybody. Some people are just completely shut down, either because they were raised that way or they just never had the opportunity to expand. But my point is, I ain't a teacher, right? Like everybody has their skill sets, and like I do well with people of whatever ethnicity or background. If you've done some learning. you've done some searching, so that when I engage with you, I'm not engaging from I'm in eighth grade and you're in third grade. You know what I mean? So it's just not in my particular skill set to try to educate everybody who's uneducated. That's the thing for me. But there are people for whom that's exactly what they're good at. They're exactly the ones who can find out where the other person is and help bring them up and have that patience. And that just ain't me no more. I used to be the white guy whisperer. I'm done with that. Now it's, yo, where are you in your understanding? Can you help me expand my understanding? And can we work together on this, that, or the third? I ain't trying to educate nobody, because
Here's
I
my
got too many people, too many black folks who don't know their history and don't know their politics, and that's where my energy is. That's me though. So
here's why I said this is why I said I'll answer the question because it has come up not recently the last 2 years. And I've had white colleagues that wants to come and talk with me, and I had some that have not. And now I've realized that's where my understanding of don't you think white people need to learn? If you want to learn, you will. You will go to the right sources. You will go to the right people. You will go to people who is understanding of it, whatever the situation is. After a certain amount of time, you will also learn the people who either trying to learn what's going on in the black community or trying to get you to understand that everything that you have even experienced is not as bad or is a lie or whatever in the black community. You will learn that very quickly
yeah,
because
you
you'll
don't know your
learn
experience well enough.
you will learn very quickly when somebody asks the question of, can you explain to me what the experience that you're going through and why you feel a certain type of way? That is a question of somebody that's trying to learn. Same situation. Can you explain to me why you feel a certain type of way when in 1944 something 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 something, and then in 1945 something something, and then the DOJ we have statistics. You're not learning. You're trying to explain my experience, and you're trying to explain why my experience was my fault. You're not trying to learn. You're trying to change my mind. And I guarantee you, you're not going to change my mind because you can go ahead and erase history out of the library all you want to. You can't erase my history, my experience, Via's experience, Tracy's experience, Mickey's experience. You can't erase that. It's not in a book that you could throw away. So there's the difference between do they need to learn and are they willing to learn?
Yeah, it's the spirit of the person. It's the spirit of the person and how they coming at you. You know what I'm saying? Um, like I would say that if someone is of a sincere heart and they want to have a better understanding of other people, not just black people or what have you, but other people, um, then you find someone who is operating on a wavelength that you can connect to, and you may not get everything you need from that person. You know, um, I'm just using this as an example, so it's not specific, but like Tracy has a very calm and welcoming spirit. Like she get amped up about her politics, but
Compared to the other two people on here.
I'm just saying, like
Not saying much, bro.
I'm
Not
just saying for real, like you feel good when you talk to Tracy. You know what I'm saying? And so that may be the person that when you are trying to get some understanding, that's who you connect to. But that's where you can end up damaging a relationship because that person who's willing to still be open to that discussion when they smell that you aren't really coming to them to
Right.
expand and learn, but you're really just kind of coming to them to say, I'm one of the good ones, right? That's different because now it's like the person is shifting their burden over to Tracy, right? So then you come across someone like me, where I've done that for so long, I'm not interested in carrying anybody's burden. I'm like, it's this too much heavy stuff to do. So I've already decided I'm working over here, and we can talk about individual little things over there. So it's like there's something for everybody. You just got to find out what works and be sincere. That's it.
Mickey, let me tell you this real quick. I have been so stigmatized of the BS lately that I it don't bother me anymore. And I get what you're saying. I'm talking about me, not you, because I am calm with people who are sincere. But when it comes to the part about not losing when they're trying to defend the BS, I don't. And I'll tell you why I'm saying what I'm saying. The Carolina Panthers suck rocks this year. They're probably gonna suck rock next year too. But I digress.
They're not the Falcons.
Yeah, they terrible too.
You do understand the you've been in
I'm sorry.
politics.
No, get your point, bro.
No,
No,
you've
don't
been
don't
in
don't let me
politics.
do
You've
that.
been
Don't
in
do let me do that.
politics long enough to realize that you can't make somebody feel better by going to something else that's bad, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
What's that?
I got shot. Well, at least you didn't get stabbed.
Yeah, we should get that. We should get
you
hit by
got
a bullet.
robbed of
Somebody
$400, but I got robbed of 800.
801.
And they said I was stupid. All right, I'm sorry, bro.
So my
I'm sorry.
point was that I'm on a football um, page on Facebook, and I sat there and said after another loss, I was used to it after a certain point, but after another loss, thank God I have politics because this season sucks. We had to have one guy come back. Go, ha ha ha! I'm surprised of that since y'all been losing so much. And I went, we haven't lost a damn thing, dude. We're actually in the lead. We may not be as far as we want to be, but further than you. And these are things that I'm having in my head. Here's the hit, though. Do you think I typed all that? No. Because when you do stuff like that, you try to either A, piss them off the way they pissed you off, or B, you try to change their mind. One, one is tactful. You're not going to piss them off. If you're going to piss them off as they pissed you off, you're going to be on there for a minute. Two, you ain't changing their mind. You're not. It's the equivalent of that cop that pulled the taser and the gun. They've already made up their mind what they're going to do. So you're not changing minds. You're not changing hearts. So why would I waste my time? I'm not gonna get mad at you. I didn't even reply to him. Why? I don't care enough. You have no effect on my life, my politics, my people at all.
But where we end up with a problem though, Marlon, and I hear it all the time, and it's a human thing. But they'll say, but if we're not talking to each other anymore, how do we make any progress? And
We're right back to the sincere situation, though. Are you sincere enough that you want to change? Or remember, I'll put it to you this way. I remember the last time I lost my ish. Tracy's on here, Thea, so I have to use the
It's your podcast, not mine.
it's your podcast.
Look,
yeah,
my
leave my
voice is
sister
not that
alone.
loud.
I remember the last time. I remember the last time I lost my crap is when Biden won, and all of a sudden people coming out. Well, we now We have to come together as a people, and we have to have peace, and we have to. And I literally remember what I said. Tracy, take your headphones off, honey.
Oh boy.
You fuckers didn't say shit like that when Trump was in office. Not one damn time about peace, love, and offering. Now that
And they
y'all lost, now you want peace, love, and offering.
and
No.
ain't meant it since.
And
But
then went to the Capitol and started acting a straight up fool.
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, no.
Well,
I'll get back to what you said, Theus.
yeah.
If there are people, if they're sincere about bringing this country together, and honestly, I think a shift is happening, not for a good reason. It is just happening. A shift is happening where there are a certain group of people who lost their crap, and now they're realizing that maybe we did go too far. This ain't the outcome that we want. I'm gonna tell you what the bad part about it is. Maybe we're going too far. Maybe this is not the outcome that we want. Aha! There was the answer right there. It wasn't the outcome that you want. So now you do want the peace, love, and offering and everything because you didn't get what you wanted when you was acting a plum fool. And now that you realize after the plum
Oh,
fool,
Marlon, I got to disagree with that.
Yeah, I got to disagree with that one.
1000%. No. It's some people, I mean, these can say off the complimentary things about him.
You understand I can kick y'all off the screen at any time.
We
so.
can, but we're going to keep talking.
That's true.
But anyway, Theus is talking about, oh, I could be calming. I don't see it, but okay, here we go. It's some people you got to avoid. You can't talk to them. You can't have a conversation with them because they're altogether stupid. They make no sense. Their rationale has no board. It's like me talking to my wall and expecting an answer back. Why am I wasting my time? What? Just why? Why am I wasting my time with people who sit here and tell me Trump was the greatest president of all time and can't name me 3 things that he did? Why am I having a conversation with you?
So, Mickey, what you were just saying right there, and that's a very real thing that a lot of people take for granted, especially those of us who live in major cities. America is what? Something like 62% white and 14% black, right? Latinos are right there with us. I think they're like 16%, something low. But what a lot of people end up missing is that the only representation of other cultures that some people get is what they get in the media. And the media is only doing what the media does, whether it be TV, movie, music, you name it, emotion sells. So they use those mediums to move emotion, which is not always going to be the best representation of any group. So if that's the only window that you have into someone who does not look like you, then you end up with a distorted view of those people. And I remember at one point, because my wife is from a really small town in South Georgia, and they were segregated all the way into the 2000s. Okay. And I remember I asked her, because I'm an Army kid, I was like, yo, how can it still be like that? How you still got segregated proms in 1999? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And she broke it down real smooth. She said, if the people around you never change, the ideas never change. The people who leave don't come back. So they don't come back with a new understanding. So the same old stuff stays. So if you're talking about communities where, first of all, like what you were saying, Mickey, where they don't even know anybody who's LGBTQ plus, odds are, yeah, they do. They just don't know that they do because it's so hostile that those people can't come forward and be them true selves. The difference with being black or being Latino, some Latinos can pass, I understand. But the difference, I'll just talk for black folk. Ain't no hiding that. Okay. Even when someone says that this person can pass, black folk look at them and be like, you black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
unless you are super fair skinned and people pretend not to notice that you're different, there's no hiding. So what ends up happening in a lot of these communities is they don't have anyone like us. They don't have anyone like us because it's not safe for us to be there. So we ain't moving there. And the ones who are there are already living in such a way to avoid conflict. So you have a false impression of who we are. Like they think that the black guy who works at the gas station actually likes you. He don't like you. He just knows he has to pretend he likes you, or else you kill him, or he won't have that job anymore, or his kids will have a hard time in school. See what I'm saying? So it's the ability to, or the option to not know. And in these communities where there's just nobody from the outside, I mean, I can't blame you for not knowing any better if you don't have nobody around you, but know that that's why your view may not be.
Yep. This is why I say every American needs to travel overseas once in their lifetime. It will totally change your entire perspective.
But America helps to make sure you stay broke enough that it's hard to do.
I know it's hard. You gotta save some money. You gotta put together. But I highly, and not to Jamaica or the Bahamas. That I'm talking about over like Europe and Russia and Asia and Africa. Those places.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I hear that one quite often. Like, well, you know, the Scottish people and the Irish people and
Yeah,
the
they were slaves too.
Italians and no, yeah, they say that. Now, first of all, indentured servitude is not slavery, so let's kick that off.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
then
say they say
also,
they slaves.
and
But
then also, American chattel slavery is not what other people were dealing with. So let's also kick that one off. Your humanity wasn't stripped from you; you were just treated like crap. But
Big
no
deal.
one makes it through life
Hold
without being oppressed in some way.
that thought for 1 second, because this is irritating me. Hold on.
Yeah, it's you, Marlon.
yeah, that's you, bro. Because as
Yeah,
soon as you
I'm
went off, we
telling
didn't
you,
hear it.
your whole speech was in a black screen.
Oh,
And
really?
I can see it
We
this
saw all
time.
three of us.
Yeah, I heard everything that you were saying, but I was like, I really hope I'm not looking like a blitter idiot going, mm-hmm, because I ain't see jack. You could have put your middle finger up and good point.
No, but the point I was making about all the different groups is that's why I think it's really dangerous to get into a pardon my language, a pissing contest of pain, right?
Hey, can you
Um,
say pissing, Tracy? Pissing, okay.
It's not my show.
If it was your
well,
show,
would it was your show? Could
It
I
would
say
probably
that?
bother me. Yes.
Okay, so let's not have it count. Let's not do the pain Olympics.
But you can
Um,
say what you want. Y'all grown.
I
I'm
know, but
not.
we respect you, so come on now.
do not have a
With
urinate
us,
contest.
you know. But anyway, the pain Olympics is always it's a worthless game. Um, the Holocaust for the Jewish community was a Holocaust for the Jewish community. The Holocaust for descendants of Africa was a Holocaust for descendants of Africa, and we don't need to be comparing the two against each other, right?
No.
When we look at the twisted nature of America, the huge difference that always comes down to it is this melting pot idea. Who is actually able to assimilate to the point that their ethnicity can be overlooked?
Not
If
anybody
you
I know.
are, if you're Irish, if you're Italian, if you're German, any of the Eastern European or Western European nations, you get to be white. Many of the people in the Jewish community, you get to be white unless you assert some kind of difference. You're black, you're black. They might not
Yeah.
know if you're African black, Caribbean black, American black, but they know you're black. If you are Asiatic, hey, they definitely don't know if you're Korean versus Chinese versus Japanese because Americans are ignorant like that. But they know you're not white.
Yep, it can't be possibly as good as they are. No way.
When
And,
you think in your mind, what is an American? I don't care who you are. If the word American goes in your head, guarantee you it's a white face. Because
Yep.
it's just what
Because we
America
can't be a we
centers.
can't right, we can't be a melting pot. We're a salad bowl. There's different parts. There's the lettuce, there's the olives, there's some tomatoes, there's the whatever you put in a salad. We
But if
can't
you
melt
respect all
together.
those pieces, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's like we can't
Color,
melt
taste,
together.
everything. But if you want to tell me we all have to melt and assimilate, then the question becomes, what do we become?
Yep,
And the
and that's
fact that that assimilation, that melting means you must
exactly.
become a white American, I can never be that.
yep, and
So
I
I'm
think
always
that's
off the
what
color.
Julie
There,
Chen
there's
was talking
the
about. She had her eyebrows, she had her eyelids did because she felt like that would be more appealing to her whiter audience. And I'm like, really? I didn't know this was such a big, huge deal in the eight. I had no idea because
We got
I'm not.
us out here bleaching our skin, so
well,
I still say that's
we can
impossible because I
literally,
don't.
we can literally reverse this with the white community, with the butt implants, with the breast implants, with the lips implants, because quite honestly, you may try to look black, knowing that you're not black.
Going to the
So,
tanning
so
bed,
you're so you always going to be able to
but Marlon,
sit on that
but Marlon,
wall.
a
I got
copy
a
will never look as
contention.
good as the original.
No, no,
Here's a
that's
wait
my
a minute, but
point though.
here's a
Go,
thing
go
though,
ahead, Tracy.
Marlon. I straighten my hair. Am I trying to be white by straightening my hair?
Black folks been straightening their hair since
No,
black
No,
folks
but I'm
been black.
saying you said
no, but I tell you,
That's somebody who don't know their history. That's somebody who don't know their
but I
history.
tell you this though. Why do you straighten your hair though?
because an afro is too much work.
That's cool. And why do I wear dreads? Because I got sick and tired of cutting my hair and I just wanted to have a different look. See, there is a sheer difference between a pragmatical reason why you did something and you did it to appease to certain people.
Yeah, because I never did it to appease to white people.
And,
I
and,
just did it
and
because I
that's,
thought,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, I just
Yeah,
thought
But
afro, that's too
here's
much
where it
work.
starts to get insidious, which is where people can't understand.
It's-
We
it's-
actually had a huge issue with HR companies across the nation who were trying to find out how do we deal with black hairstyles.
Yep,
Okay?
that's just ignorance.
That right there.
No,
But it's
that's
not just
racism.
ignorance. It's not even just racist. It's for 200 plus years, white style of beauty has been normative. So now that other cultures are saying, no, I'm no longer going to try to make myself more acceptable to you. I am focused on being acceptable to me. That's when there all this frustration comes in.
Look, read an HR book one time and figure out. Read an HR book. Read your HR book and look at where they have the definition, and I'm sure it's in there somewhere where it says your appearance. I guarantee you, it's always going to be clean cut, shaven, no long hair. In other words, anything that's the opposite of what America has always been used to. Because clean cut, shaven, short hair, and blah blah blah, everything else has been seen in America as professional.
Look at your upper tier non-entertainer black men. What do you almost, at least I always see it? Ain't got no facial hair.
They sure don't.
They ain't got no facial hair because they're trying to play in somebody else's game. And while they
Yep,
can never be white, but they do know that the dress code.
yep, that
Dress code, that's a better
Same
word.
thing with women. Our sisters are just now starting to do dreads and braids and natural froze and low cuts and all those different things. But these are the women who are on the vanguard of trying to push themselves out there as individuals and embrace their culture, a culture that we don't even fully understand. But they were getting all this pushback. They weren't getting promoted. They weren't getting hired. It was all this.
Because Mickey, I can tell you right now, that's a stigmatism of the of America. How can I
The
put this?
closer to white, the more
The
you
better.
are right. That's
If
all there is to it.
when you hear certain racist stigmas towards anything, usually the first thing is appearance. Black people, nappy hair. Asian people,
Oh my gosh.
slanted Asian people, slanted eyes.
And Mickey,
There's always an appearance when it comes to the stigma of a certain way.
But
Look
what
at
is it about? It's about white being normative.
yeah, look at the Italian people. What's the first thing they go? Oh, the greasy hair. I've yet to figure out what the hell
I'm
that
like, their
is.
hair is not greasy.
I was like, what is this? What?
But Marlon, I'll tell you what annoys me to all end all be is when somebody who's non-black, because I think black people know not to do this. Why must the dominant culture? No, listen to
I
my
already know
point.
where it's going. I already know.
Why must the dominant culture come up with 15,000 hair questions? What is you? Just accept that our hair is different. Just accept it. I'm not saying go out and do it.
My deal is, when did we start?
Don't touch
doing
it.
this? When did we start?
Yes,
yeah,
that's another thing that drives me crazy. I'm
when
like,
did we
stop.
start
No.
doing this? Can I touch your hair crap?
Hair. I'm
Because
like,
they
who?
didn't used to have to ask. We were like pets. I'm
Yeah,
be
I'm
real
like, I
with you.
was-
That's what it is. You didn't have rights. You didn't have rights to your autonomy. You didn't have rights to your gender. You didn't have rights to your culture. You didn't have rights to any of that. So out of curiosity, they think of it as an innocent move of doing. And I'm one of them people. Like, I remember there was a little kid, little kid, like 1 year old little kid, and she kept trying to touch my then like 2-year-old daughter's hair, 3-year-old daughter's hair, and I kept looking over at their mama like,
You gonna say
you
something?
need to handle this. And my wife caught my look and she stepped in because I don't care who you are. I will make you feel way small. Don't
Yeah,
you
I
touch
just
me.
want to
Don't
know
you touch my child.
why do you want to touch? But thing is, in my case, it's never a well. Some little girls will ask. It's women old enough to be my mother. Tell me, can I touch? No, you cannot touch
No.
my hair.
And it's not
No.
about it. Because see, the child thing, that's you not being socialized.
Pretty much.
Right? You're curious. This is different
You
than what you
don't
see in
know.
the
I can
mirror.
see a child
Right?
doing it.
Right. That's why I didn't spaz immediately.
The adult,
But
Yeah, but
adults,
when
you
you
know,
send some old woman, old enough
it's
to
a
be your
power
mama,
play.
that's a power.
like,
That's
wait a minute
power
now,
thing.
chick. Hold on.
That's a power.
You got to touch my hair. Why? I don't ask you to touch yours.
That's a power thing. That's
You might as well call me boy.
as it is.
Or a girl.
And by the way, Tracy, and I'm a man because so I can say this, and I don't mean it, but I would do it just to piss people off. If I even had any woman walk up to me and go, "Ooh, can I touch your hair?" I'm gonna go, "Ooh, can I touch your breast?" And if you're offended, guarantee you, I'm offended too, because I didn't come up to you to ask you
Yeah.
for squat. But
I
you are
wouldn't
so
know.
fascinated by hair. I'm going to purposely go out of, and I'm telling you, I'm on screen.
I had never thought of it that way,
I'm
but
purposely going out of my way to offend you, because what you
Yeah,
just
now I'm gonna
asked
do
me
that.
to do- because what you just asked me to do, you thought was not offensive, and
Yep.
it was. So either you're ignorant, or you thought this was a cool idea because you are not
But
my
what?
race.
Now I've been black obviously my whole life. I have never wanted to touch another woman's hair.
Nobody's. I
There's
have
nothing
no way to
in
touch
me.
anybody's hair. I don't get the concept.
well, I can't say that because man, the smell of a black woman's hair and the feel of it, man, this is a wonderful thing. But if you ain't my woman, I ain't touching it. And then when you my
Yeah.
woman, I know when I'm allowed to. So
Yeah, it's like when I went to that hair salon. I'm like, I had people just gawking at me. I'm like, have they never seen a black person before? Like, why are y'all all?
some of
just
them
looking at
haven't. You're not taught how to do
Literally,
your
some
hair
of-
in
Yeah,
these
literally,
schools.
some of them have.
I'm like, okay, I probably won't be coming back to this place because I just went because it was like near me where I was going. I'm like, okay, let me mark this place off.
Which is
That's
another cultural blind spot. Like sometimes you might think that there's not like white people in your establishment, and there's not black people in this other establishment because each group refuses to go. Nah, it's because you don't handle them the same way.
Sure,
You know what I'm
don't.
saying?
I mean, I just felt like,
It's a
especially
cultural
that old,
difference.
that old man next to me. I mean, I was like, dude, if you don't stop looking at me, we gonna have a problem.
You have to understand something about this country of ours. And I'll go on what Theus was saying about the melting pot. The melting pot goes as far as what the distance from your house is. And what I mean by that is your experience. If you have never gone out of your state, no.
No, for real.
No,
Yeah,
no,
you,
no,
you're
no. No, I'm gonna
you're
change
Out of your
that.
city.
No, I'm gonna change that. Out of your time zone, because I could say go out of your state. In North Carolina, and you go to South Carolina, ain't really changing your freaking experience too much.
but it's
But,
something.
but it's something. But I don't want you to go from Hickville, North Carolina to Hickorsville, South Carolina, and go, I've traveled. No, you haven't. You're in the same freaking space. It's just in a different state, bro. You ain't experienced jack squat. You went from Mayberry to Mayberry RFD. You didn't move anywhere. You didn't
Wow.
do anything. So
Mayberry
Wow.
RFD.
But you're right though. Yeah,
what
because
I'm
it's like a
saying,
lot of people in Georgia, they've never been anywhere but Georgia and Florida. Like
yeah,
that's
when
that's it.
when I say experience, I mean from South Carolina to New York, from
No, Marlon.
California to Mississippi, from Mississippi to I'm about to say Texas. Not that big of a deal. From Texas to
Depends on what part. Yeah.
California or to New York. What I'm saying is, when you want to actually learn a different culture, you have to get yourself out of your culture. So to the point where, just like what you went through, Tracy, that old man probably have never seen your hair ever. And at the very least, he's seen it on TV and probably looked at it like, "Oh, this is real. Wow."
And
What
then there's layers to it.
compared to other Americans who travel around the country who will probably just go, "Nice hair."
But no, but there's levels to it as well, right? Because like me, I had the benefit of growing up in an army kid. So just being in the military, you're around almost every culture you can think of,
Got that
right?
right.
And then you move constantly, like every 3 to 4 years, you somewhere else. So you and all that good stuff. But it's also based on your locale too. Like if you've always been in Atlanta, then you may be familiar with being around white, black, Latino, Asian, Indian, right? You may be familiar being around these different people, but that doesn't mean you really interact with them, but you're familiar with them.
Yeah.
But it's still Atlanta culture. you
Yeah.
still ain't you ain't hit
Back
Macon
to my
culture yet.
original
You
low
ain't you ain't
point. You're
you
back
ain't
to
down
my
south.
you're
It really
back
is
to
the
my
same thing
original.
because
Yeah.
when we talk about Florida and we sit there and we know the small towns in Florida, and then you go to Miami.
Yeah, you've been to Orlando and Miami.
You know that there's going to be a change, but deep down in your heart, you know it's still Florida.
Yeah.
It may be a little faster, it may be a little more glitzy, it may be a little more glamorous, but
It's
still
still my
Florida.
it's still
Still
Florida.
Florida.
It's
But
not
that's where we have to find a way to help people and before we roll into the next day.
The ones who
Um
really want to.
everybody should get a passport. I'm gonna keep saying it. Get a
but you gotta have
passport
somewhere
and
to
go.
go. I got a passport, it's got 2 stamps.
I have been to 4 foreign countries
You have
and it
two?
totally changed my life. It
I got,
totally changed my
I
life.
got a passport to go to the Bahamas, and I feel like a blittering idiot because I've already been to the Bahamas.
I've
And
never
the
been.
only reason I even got off the ship to go to Freeport was because they shut down the smoking area on the ship, so I had to get off to go smoke.
Now, I've been to the
Hey, fella,
Dominican Republic and Aruba
everything that comes out of my mouth ain't gonna be a
as an
sight.
adult.
Everything that comes out of my mouth is not gonna be exciting. Sorry, that was just a antidote.
No.
Yeah,
But I
I've
mean,
been to
I think everybody should travel.
Yes.
I believe that not only that,
Cuba,
this is where
Canada,
people don't
But
agree with me.
Mexico.
I think people should move. I think you
but
should
but
literally move.
what is your reasoning for going? Are you going for a culture exchange or are you going on vacation?
Yeah, that's a
You
big
should
difference
go
too.
for a cultural experience because I'll tell you what.
So we're right back to it's still the heart of, and I'm using this word, but you women understand. It's still the heart of men. If you're going on vacation to Jamaica, you're not looking to learn the culture and learn the heritage and learn everything. You're going for the blue water and the reggae music where you're just going to dance around silk. You're not going to change. You're not going for a reason to change your life, and your outlook on things. You're
I'll push
going
back a
to
little.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
gonna push
Push
back.
back. No, 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 no. I actually agree for the most part. But
All right.
check this out though. I think that a person can really only dream one step further than what they've experienced. So if you are in Georgia and you've never been out of Georgia and then you go to Florida, yeah, it seems a lot like they're about the same, but there's something about going to another state that hopefully will make you be like, well, I wonder what it's like in Alabama. I wonder what it's like. You know what I'm saying? You start to dream one step further out so that now when you grow up, it's not about how do I stay here? Maybe I want to go to Florida next. But like my homeboy, um, born and raised Atlanta, Savannah. That's like what he that's what he knew. And we went out of the country to the DR and we were going on party. It's a party, guys trip, heading out.
Yeah.
But it was his first time out of the country. That right there changed so much. Like you could see the explosion of possibilities. And ever since then, this man has gone on to get his bachelor's degree, his graduate's degree. He's looking at moving to Maine or Austin. Like this is somebody who never really was interested too much in leaving Atlanta.
I
So
get
you
what
never know
you
what
don't
will
know
hit
until you
you
actually do
once
it.
you, yeah.
Except
And
I
then
But
you
got
I
got
don't
me, and I'm
I
know.
got
like,
one little small pushback on it. I
I
got
don't think.
one little small pushback on what you said, Theus. It is just a small pushback. There is absolutely nobody on the face of the planet that wants to explore Alabama.
Now that's not true. That
there's
ain't
a no,
no.
there's a beautiful beach
There
down
is
in
Yeah,
Alabama.
Alabama has
there is not
beaches.
nobody in this world who sits there and go, I'm gonna vacation in Alabama.
No, that's
Maybe people in
Vermont.
Mississippi.
People in Vermont
No,
be
because
like,
you
don't
have
nobody come see us.
Mississippi, yeah, because Mississippi, I'll give it to you, Mississippi. So don't get your panties in a bunch because I'm gonna give you some. Because you have the casino tugboats or whatever you want to call them
Man, ain't
things.
nothing happening in
Riverboats.
Mississippi. If you don't
It's a
stop,
river boat.
if you don't stop, ain't nothing happening in
No, the
Mississippi. Stop
casino
now.
river boats. That's
Stop it.
I'll give
Stop it.
you Mississippi.
Stop it.
Ain't nobody
Stop
sitting
it.
there. You know how many times I've seen the
No,
complaint out, come to Alabama. No.
Ain't nothing happening in
but
Mississippi,
Marlon,
Alabama. But there's some beautiful sights to
but
be seen, but people don't
Marlon,
know, so they sleep on it.
here's the one that you'll never hear.
In where? Alabama?
Yeah.
What
There's
sites?
some beautiful
Yeah, go to the
beaches.
beach.
You
And if you're
literally
into like rustic or classic architecture, you can find stuff like that too. It's
I'll
all
tell
about
you
what you're
what.
into.
Yeah, Marlon, I'll tell you what.
honestly
Nobody.
I'll probably wind up in Kentucky.
Yep. Nobody ever
Dude.
says, you know where we should go to vacation? Indianapolis, Indiana, because that's where it's at. Nobody. I'm
Bro,
like,
I'll tell you right now, ain't nothing.
hey,
There's not a Midwest state that interests me. I don't want to go to
I'm like,
Indiana. I don't want to go to Illinois. I don't want to go to Ohio. I don't want to go to
Iowa,
Nebraska. I don't want to Arkansas.
Oklahoma.
I don't. I forgot that was a state.
Oh,
I don't even want to go.
You nobody sits there and says, you know what we should do? Go to Indianapolis. That's a
We should go to
city.
Arkansas.
where's the where's Mount Rushmore?
I don't know.
Uh,
Washington. I don't know.
I always
Where
thought
is
it was in Colorado, Arizona place.
Oh, Mount Rushmore. That's one of the presidents on it. That's North Dakota.
North
Yeah.
Dakota.
Is it North? It's one of the Dakotas. It's North.
Yeah,
Dakota.
I think
it's
that's
one
what I
of
said.
them.
I couldn't remember was North Dakota or South Dakota.
I know it's west.
That literally would be the only reason why I would go.
Yeah,
And
I don't want to look at
Wyoming.
them.
And
Who
then by,
says they're
and
going
then
to
by the way,
vacation
and
in
then by the
Wyoming?
way, I would actually probably wind up looking at it and then getting pissed off, understanding that you took it from
It's sitting on stolen land.
yeah,
Like
And the
it's right
indigenous
there.
population just took it from them. Just
what was
said, we're going to build here.
Mickey, if you still here, what was the tribe up there? The black, I want to say black tribe, but I know that's not right.
Blackfoot. I don't know if that's the right one
Blackfoot.
though.
Mickey,
Yeah, they straight up stole it.
Blackfoot. So you stole the after you lied and said that you was gonna
Open violation of U.S. treaty.
after
Open
you
violation.
lied.
And
So
we
I'll probably
violate
look-
treaties all the time.
Violated all of them.
I'm going to say, really, which
Susan
one haven't we?
Blackhill. I knew it was black something, but Susan Blackhill. That's my point. So yeah, I'll probably look at it and go, wow. Tracy, take your headphones off. Wow. You fucking son of a bitches. This damn land. Okay. Are you trying to read my lips? I'm trying.
I'm
But
sitting here
yeah,
trying to
for
read
real.
lips. I'm like, what? Can I put
I
it
do
back
advocate.
on now?
I do advocate for traveling. I do advocate that there's a lot of things, even in this country, that you want to see. America is one of the largest land mass. North America is a large land mass. There's plenty of things to see, and we sleep on it. Yeah. The
I'm
problem
listening.
though is
I do
people are
want to
broke.
start traveling.
I'm here to rep for the European countries.
I do
There's
want to
not
go.
the one.
I'm sorry. I do want to go to London.
No,
I
you
want to-
don't. No, you
Yes,
don't.
I-
Because here's
Oh,
what
yes,
London
I
has
do.
a
Yes, I
terrible
do. And I know that
subsystem. I'm like, Y'all speak English, but y'all don't speak American. I'm like, what did you say? What did
But
you
why?
say?
What is it about
What?
Europe that makes you want to go there?
The cobblestone streets, all the
I want to
beautiful
go.
churches,
I want to see Big Ben. I want to see the castle. I want to see the
the marching band.
But here's my deal.
Yes, I'm gonna be here for all the European countries.
Here's how practical I am on certain things. I want to see the big attractions.
Mhm.
I'm not that one that wants to go. Oh, I heard about this great restaurant in something street.
Oh, wait a minute.
I don't know jack about. Hey, is that the castle? Wow, it really is big. I want to see the great attractions.
I'm going anywhere I go. It's got to be it's food. I'm sorry. It's food and weather. Those
If
are the
you-
two things.
Okay,
There's a
you know
restaurant-
what? And here's the deal with that, Theus. That's America.
Yep, because we
'Cause
got
I do
food
want-
everywhere.
No, because
Look how fat we are.
I
Look how
want to-
overweight we are. We got food running everywhere. I'm like, you can find
Yeah,
good
and that's
food
why a lot of
everywhere.
people come
That's
to
why
America.
I want to
But
go to
I'm
Chicago,
saying-
to Chicago. I want to go to Chicago and get the hot
Deep
wings.
dish pizza. The deep dish pizza. That's all I
Well,
want.
I've tried deep dish pizza. That's
It's not good. I'm
First
like,
of all, that's a casserole. It's
Stop
not
it.
a
It's
pizza.
pizza.
It's not a pizza.
it's lasagna. It tastes
It's
real
lasagna
nasty.
at best. But I want to go.
I love lasagna
get,
too.
I want to go get buffalo wings. I want to get New York style pizza. I want to go to California and try all the things in California. So yeah, there are places where I can. I would say I want to go to Texas and try Texas barbecue, but it's like
Texas has a lot of great places.
Yep.
I unfortunately lived in El Paso, which wasn't one of those.
I was in San Antonio, and then God bless me, I went to Wichita Falls. Don't ever go to Wichita Falls. Well,
Mickey, I remember that. Yeah.
Yep. Ain't America great?
That's part of the voter disenfranchisement system that they were
That we
going
never
for
talk
because
about.
indigenous Americans were
because
disproportionately voting for
it never
Democrats.
happened, Tracy.
What?
It never happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
no,
didn't.
but it's it's coincidental. It's a one-off. There's no plan behind it.
Can you imagine how many 100 one-offs we done had? Thousands of one-offs we
I'm
done
telling
had.
you, man.
No, I'm just saying we never talk about it in terms of what the indigenous
And-
population.
America makes a lot of dots,
if
but they
they
don't
have
really
their
connect.
way, we never will because they're not
Nope.
now because we're not going to learn the history. All they doing is honestly, if they have their way, which I don't think they're going to win, but if they do, honestly, what they're really trying to do is water down American history for just one generation. If you can get enough of a one generational gap on American history, you're pretty much won.
Yep.
Because
Well, the problem they're
you're only going to teach your kids what you know. When you find out that you don't know jack squat. And if
Yep.
your kids find out about it and you try to argue with them, they're gonna look at you like I'm the
You
adult
know,
child.
It's an act of desperation.
Yeah.
it's desperate.
So,
We're not the majority anymore. We're scared. We
but
want
see,
you.
that's the funny. That's why I don't know if you saw my post, but it's like it's almost like there's something wrong with being a minority in America. But we're making it all up. There's no systemic issues. There's
Nope.
no racism.
We're
Nope.
trying
There's no
we're
no
trying to keep you down as a
obstruction.
race without you actually trying to explain to us how we keeping you down.
No, you should be happy you're kept down because at least you're in America.
Yeah, because you know the black people in America is like the eighth richest nation in the world. See, I hate when people do that dumb stuff, right?
Yep.
Like what about the California economy, if it was its own nation, would be like
It's
the
not. It's a
10th.
part of the United
But I'm
States.
like,
Be
it
quiet.
doesn't work that way, dog.
We don't have secession anymore. That's why we fought the Civil War.
You know
Thank
what?
you.
But for real, like with the secession thing, talk about like let's talk about Texas because that's the number one who wants to secede, right? All right, cool. So bet if you secede, you have no standing army.
Nope.
You
Don't get
have
no money.
no.
If,
You don't
yep.
have the reserves to handle a natural disaster.
Nope.
So you'll be back in a year.
That's why I say let them go. We ain't gonna send you no federal money.
I can't say that because my problem with secession is because of the capitalist system that we're all subject to, the disproportionate number of black and non-white peoples and even white people live in the South because it's where you can afford to live.
I
So
say
if you secede, where am I gonna go?
you better move to another country.
How? Where am I getting the money from? Because they're not talking about paying us to leave. They're just talking about draw a line and now, hey, welcome to slavery, baby. You know, like,
That's what I'm saying. If they want to run they mouth about 60, okay, we ain't gonna send y'all no federal money, no student loan money, no bridge money, no
but
nothing.
now
money.
what about the people?
That's what I'm saying.
Not their
That's part of
decision.
me. Yeah, that's the part of me saying, oh, you can't do it. But if he wants to keep running his mouth, I'm like, see how that works for you. See, I give it. You give it a year. I'm giving it 3 months. I'm like, nope, 3 months. They'll be right back.
That's the same like line of thought though that goes with the people who are saying, well, voting doesn't matter, it's not working out, blah blah blah. It's a similar. I'm not saying you're advocating for it, but I'm saying it's a similar thought process because now it's like, okay, y'all want to secede? Bet, do your thing. But whatever happens to the other people who didn't want to secede, who are caught up in that, well, sucks to be you. You know.
Yeah, that's the bad part. It's like
that's like you could never, if that were to happen, those who advocated a blase, let them go, could never come to me and pretend to be an ally because I will view that person as much of an enemy as the knuckleheads I'm stuck down here with. Because when the call was made, ain't nobody care about what happened to me. So don't act like you care about me later. So when I come up there, I'm coming.
It's like
I'm burning it all down.
But I'm like, when you don't get that federal money, you're gonna be crying. You're gonna be crying.
Yeah.
That's one of the that is
one
of the good things.
And that's the bad part about growing up in Indiana. It's nothing. It's just corn everywhere.
And down here ain't nothing but chain restaurants because it's what it is.
Yeah, but like I was saying back on the eatery place, if you go to Paris, there's a restaurant in the middle of the Eiffel Tower. Right? I don't know, remember the name of that restaurant? That's the best food I've ever had in my entire life. I'm like, this is okay.
Yeah, but I get why people want to go to Europe.
I want to actually expand on that. These little idiots who sit there and say they're going to succeed is what the poor states in the United States.
The poorest states, what y'all gonna do?
And you will not survive without
Kentucky
assistance.
Well, you can't survive on your own.
Rand Paul, remember how you would sit there and say that Puerto Rico and everybody else didn't need any money?
In the moment they needed money, he was first in line with his hands out.
They needed money for your state. Who's the first person you got?
Then had the nerve to complain it wasn't coming in fast enough. It was like,
but the problem is people keep giving these people credence, and that's why I get mad at the legacy media, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, all of them, because they play along. They don't do real journalism and say, These people are saying this, and they're kooky people. So I'm not even going to repeat what they said. I'm not going to give it air, because the thing about a secession is bloody,
Yep.
it's loud, and a lot of people are going to suffer. So that's where, like, what we were just talking about, Tracy, about the people who are going to get stuck in it. Remember when we were
Yep.
talking about what Trump was like, well, they didn't vote for me, so I don't care what happens to them. Like, there's no Republicans in Georgia, and there's no Republicans in New York. You know what I'm saying?
But but
But
but they play that game to separate us. And when I say that, I don't mean to say that we was always a kumbaya freaking country to begin with. Cause
Yeah, I was gonna say.
but drama keeps it going, and that's what they
we
want.
definitely won't. What I am saying is that that was their Trump's shot to go. They're not one of us, and I'm going to make sure that if you're not one of us, I'm I'm going to take care of us. I'm not going to take care of them. So, is to explain to you, you don't think there's Republicans in New York? Yeah, there probably is. Do you think he give a rat's ass?
Well, Trump doesn't care about anybody.
No.
Yeah, he don't care about anybody but himself. I doubt it. Well, I'm gonna
But
shut my
like,
mouth.
that's the other thing. I only saw this come up once when they were talking about the January 6th terrorist attacks, and they were like, these were not the people you think they were. Right? These were men and women in their 40s and 50s. They got jobs. They got careers.
Oh, we got a new person. Cosmic.
Hey,
Hey, Cosmic
Sir
Protocol
or
Band.
ma'am, how
Oh,
are you?
Protocol Band. I can't read. My glasses are off.
Cosmic
And my
Protocol Band, welcome. Thank you. Go ahead, Theo.
but no, it's all in how these things are packaged. And see, I'm not saying that I have any common cause with a white supremacist or extremist. Okay, I'm not saying that, because their ideology is against my humanity. But the way to move some of this stuff forward is we have to focus on issues, and that's not in the best interest of the media, and
mm-mm.
it's not in the best interest of elected officials.
Nope.
In order to keep my position as an elected official, I just need to keep y'all fighting against each other, so you believe in red team versus blue team. And if I can keep that going on, then I can stay here and play in the margins. And as long as I can get you still mad at rich versus poor, which are still abstract terms, then I don't have to actually do anything for you. And the media plays that same thing. If there's a color line, or if there's a rich poor line, that's what gets attention. But if we actually wanted to move something, then I would say something along the lines of, look at where all our railways go across this country, because we've got them crisscrossing the country, because that's what helped build this nation, right? These are the towns and the cities that have been ignored and neglected. This is where you invest in high speed rail. This is where you put rail infrastructure back in, so that those communities now have people coming through it, and they have commerce coming through it that starts putting money back into these communities, so their kids don't have to move away, so that the education can get better, so that they can not be mad at the other constantly. And then at the same time, you take care of the broadband situation. That should be all throughout this country, period. That's a national investment that should happen. Education, national investment that should be happening. You take care of the core needs of the American population, and a lot of this red blue stuff can kind of die down a little bit. But it's because no one will do that. We fight red versus blue, black versus white, and that's what we do. Uh, It's pointless.
We have
Ultimately pointless.
we have to they not we they have to keep America the melting pot argument again. We can sit here and say America is a melting pot, while at the same time always fighting to keep groups. They have to keep groups together. You are this group, you are this group, you are that group. And then on top of that, once we have identified what group you're in, then we'll have to identify why you need to hate this group,
Hmm.
why you need to hate these type of people, where you have to hate these type of income. Do I think every millionaire and billionaire is corrupt and bad and everything else? No, I don't. Do I think there are some out there? Hell yeah, absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt. But listen to what I just said. Millionaires and billionaires already put you in a group. So either you love them or you hate them. You already done picked your side. So if you love them, every millionaire and billionaire you love them.
Because you think you can be them
And if you hate
or
them,
get close to them.
every millionaire and billionaire you hate them, regardless of what they've done.
Yeah, but Marlon, groups, I mean, first, groups are human. My problem is not the structures, it's how you employ them, right?
You
It's
know
like,
Yep.
what? We know that groups are human. That's not how they're selling it. They're
right,
selling
they're
groups as they're
using it
selling
as a wedge,
groups.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're
right?
selling groups as groups.
But my thing is this, like, and this is where I'm actually part of the problem, right? Um, my central focus is the black community, not to the detriment of anyone else, but it's because I realize life is competition, and politics is how the resources are separated or spread out amongst a population. I want more resources to come to my group because we are inherently and systematically and intentionally kept from them, which keeps us fighting what we like to call generational curses. But it's really, you're fighting poverty, buddy. All right. You're fighting poverty and the impact of social and mental health as it relates to coming out of those things. Right?
Tracy gotta go.
Yep, I gotta take my medicine.
All right, sis. Well, we need to wrap this anyway. I mean, I don't know. This ain't my call. Your call, bro. I'm here with you until you done.
Just give me 15 more minutes, dude.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I
but
can
I
do
run my
15.
mouth enough. Do your thing, Miss
Hey
Tracy. You know
Tracy,
what, Tracy? We've been talking to you the whole time.
and listen, by the way, when you do like stuff like that, is that something that you have to literally go and do, or you just got to go take it?
I just gotta go take it. I
It's
just
like
gotta walk to the
11.
kitchen and take it.
It's like
Go.
almost midnight.
Yeah, I know I should have took it 12, like 15 minutes ago.
Tracy, go take your
Tracy,
medicine.
well, you good? Do your
Go
thing,
take your
sis. Or
medicine.
whatever you decide. Whatever you decide.
Okay.
But
Whatever you decide
um,
to do, we'll be right here.
Oh, okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. Don't down up. Don't down us.
but but Marlon, for real though, it's like I look at it and I say, yeah, we need to. We're all human thing, right? Which, yeah, it's cool, whatever. But each group needs to be stronger so that they can then come to each other and negotiate on a stronger footing. Is the way I look at it.
Good night, Mickey.
Good night, Mickey.
Sorry.
Wait a minute. Oh my god.
I should have said.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I should have. Never mind. Tracy.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah. So that's my thing, bro.
And,
It's
and, and,
in the
and
words of
I
the
get what you're
Black
saying.
Panther Party, all power to the people. White power, black people, black power, red power, all power. You know what I'm saying? We're all competing anyway. Good night, Miss Mickey.
All right, Mickey. See you tomorrow. Which you probably already know, Saturday and Sunday. And I agree with you, but that's my stance is that they constantly try to is it there is a certain change in philosophy on the evil empire thing. So they're now not just doing black and white. Italian, Asian, something like that. So what they have switched to now is ideology, and what their ideology is this what you believe in? You're with this group now. Candace Owens, um, Tim Scott, so on and
Yeah.
so forth.
But they've always said that. That's divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we have switched to, well, the group on group thing. Yeah, that's 20th century stuff. We got to move up to the 21st century now. Ideology.
Yeah.
I need
Religion and
somebody. I
ideology.
need somebody that looks like you to speak on our behalf to the people that looks like you.
But haven't they
It,
always done that though? That's like ever since slavery they've done that.
it has
Always
and
had tokens.
it has and it hasn't, because we were able to at the very least call a token a token.
Hmm?
Dude,
I don't
come on,
know.
you are a token. We literally got to a point where, you know what? Let's be honest. If you are black and the Democrats was this, that, and the other, and if you look at it, that the racist people were started off as Democrats, you need to go to the Republican side where they everything else and stuff like that. Sorry, Thea, people buying that crap.
That's because
And
people are
they're not
acting
even
out of a.
buying. And the bad part about it is they're not buying the crap because, ooh, that sounds like a real good point. They buy the crap because somebody that looks like you said it.
But you have those, and you have those who are easily manipulated through their emotions,
Well, them too.
which is hard to avoid. Considering how high the stakes are now. I understand. I understand those who are saying, what they say about the Democratic Party. I understand because I agree. You know what I'm saying? My problem is with approach. Is what you want at the end of the story. What are you working towards? And if what you say is you're working towards the betterment and uplift and protection of your community, but your actions are leading towards the people who are out there trying to hurt your community, I have a problem with you. And I view you not as an enemy per se, but I view you as a sympathizer to the enemy.
And I get that, but I want to emphasis this: when you say helping your community, I want to add a caveat to what you just said. And my caveat is, I don't want you to help your community by trying to destroy another community.
Well, yeah.
Because we gotta remember that's an American thing. If I destroy XYZ, my community will thrive.
Yeah. For me to do better, you have to do worse. Right.
Exactly.
But now hear me out. So I believe in the spirit of competition, and I I believe that we have been obstructed in running the race because those other groups have aligned themselves or working together or whatnot. Hey, welcome back. Um,
Welcome back. She didn't go.
she had to step out to handle some business, but
She had to pet her cat.
it's like this. I'm gonna use an analogy. Yeah, I caught that. That I've used in the past about being a gardener. This is how I view my work in the black community. The black community is my garden.
Thank you, Cosmo. Cosmic.
The black community is my garden. If you will leave me alone and let people like myself work in our garden, we're gonna we have a lot to do. There's enough to keep me busy. I have to look out for the weeds. I have to look out for the parasites. I got to look out for the things that are in the garden that are trying to choke off the fruits and the vegetables and the things we're trying to grow to be more prosperous and expand. Leave me to work in my garden. But if you come in my garden from the outside and seek to do harm, then it is on me to use any and everything at my disposal to repel you. So, like you were saying, in that, not to the and I've said it too, not to the detriment of other groups, not to the express detriment. If you will just allow us to focus on us, to get stronger, to break down some of the broken systems that we have, right? One of the problems with being black in America is we have never had a period of time where we were unobstructed. We have always had to overcome and fight through the full force and weight of the most powerful nation on the planet. Could you imagine?
That you brought us to?
Thank you. Could you imagine? We had to fight for our humanity first. No, no. First, we had to fight for freedom. Then we had to fight for humanity. Then we had to fight for citizenship. We're still fighting for citizenship. We're still fighting for basic rights that other groups get inherently upon being born here or naturalized here. We've had our cities burned and destroyed. We've had our business owners killed and run off. We've had highways just run through our neighborhoods and our cities. We've had complete towns just submerged or bulldozed. We've had entire family lines killed off. We've had every social or civic group that actually wanted to generate change has been murdered or put into political prisoners. That has been our history here. So if that's what we've had to do, yeah, I'm ready to fight anybody who comes along who's trying to get in the way of me trying to fix all that.
And let me put a fine point on what Diaz is saying. We've been here since the 1600s. Do you understand the ramifications that we're still fighting for stuff that other people didn't have to? Do you get that we're still 1600s and we're still fighting for stuff? We're still trying to. I have literally said this, and in my heart of hearts, I've always felt like this. You don't have to give me absolutely nothing. Seriously, you don't. You don't have to give my people nothing. Seriously, fine. Just leave us the F alone. But you can't. You can't. You cannot. Thea said it better. You don't want competition. You don't want a fight. You don't want to pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
Nope.
No. You have to make yourself feel better by making somebody else feel worse. I'm not saying give us nothing. We can give our own self something. Just leave us alone. But you can't do it. Good gracious, I got people from from Norway.
Hey.
Oh, crap.
Fisk.
Tracy, I'm sorry I had muted you because you was in the kitchen talking about something. Oh Lord, have mercy. Oh my God. Oh Lord. And, what was going on in there?
I was trying to open up my containers. I'm like, okay, this is getting on my nerves.
You trying to open up your what? Your cat?
The things that the
Stop
pills.
it.
The things that the pills come in. I don't know if the pill bottles.
Wow. For shame, sir.
She my little sister. I can mess with her. She all right.
No, you can't. No, you cannot.
You all right. And we have somebody from Sweden. We let Tracy.
Pierre.
Welcome.
Pierre Mazet, or I don't know. That'd be cool.
I
know the first part is Pierre. But yeah, it's cool, man. There's just so much.
It is.
Yeah, it's just so much. But I'm gonna take it back to, like, Tracy, you've heard me say this before about the story of the wall of Jericho, right? One hand you have your sword, In the other hand, you have whatever that thing is they call it, a pistol or whatever they use for building the wall. you know, um, yeah, we can't start from scratch. I'm not going to be your happy warrior. I'm not. So I understand that I'm in a fight, and I'm on my team, and I want to play my role until it's time for me to leave this plane of existence to get my team in stronger position so that we can compete in a better way. So that we're not. First of all, I want justice, so I want reparations. Second of all, I want justice. So I want you to do something about this criminal justice system and stop killing us in the streets because the reprisals are really about to come. And that doesn't benefit any of us. Because when we start fighting back, it ain't going to be pretty. And I want options. I want people to have the opportunity to pursue whatever level of self actualization they can set their mind and their hearts to go after without it being artificially held back because of the color of your skin or the zip code you grew up in or who your granddaddy was.
We're all
No, but you got to fix some things first.
seeing as America is still stuck in colonizer days is why we never left.
Yeah,
we just
100%.
painted,
Yeah,
we
we
literally, we just painted it a different color.
Yeah, we just said, oh, it's
The
red.
fact that America doesn't want to let Puerto Rico be a state or even have the vote to
Puerto
be a
Rico,
state
we won't let Washington D.C.
See, be a
but
state.
no,
Come
see,
on.
that's a different argument to me.
Why? Why would that
Because
be an argument?
here's the difference.
I
Here's the
can tell you
difference.
what their argument for not doing it is. So tell me why that's
Washington,
a good
D.C. doesn't have a car lot.
But
They literally said that. I'm not kidding.
that's not my reasoning. That's not my rationale. So DC statehood, I'm cool with it, but I don't place it on the same level as the colonization argument. Puerto Rico, literally, we have Puerto Rico because of a deal, right? They traded a landmass with people on it. Same way they got Hawaii, same way they got Guam, same way they got the U.S. Virgin Islands.
As soon as you said Guam,
exactly.
Yeah,
So
they
my
serve in the
thing
military,
is,
but aren't citizens.
they
For
they
real?
serve the military in a higher percentage than anywhere else.
Sure do.
Okay,
look at Hawaii.
Why is it a state? That's what I keep saying.
Do you understand? Do you really truly
It was the last one.
understand the concept of this is a beautiful place? We'll take it.
that's what they did with Puerto Rico and the people on it. Same thing.
That's what they did in America.
You know
Hey,
what
look
I'm
at
saying? So,
Alaska. I mean,
look at the Louisiana Purchase. So it's like, okay, so my thing is this. If you're serious about human rights and getting rid of colonization, then that is where I think the fight starts. You go after the US territories and you say, I'm saying they should have the right to vote for statehood or independence. I'm not even going to let them have the option of still being in the classification they're in. No. That's gone. Statehood, independence.
Exactly, Megan.
but what if they vote against it, though?
If they vote for independence and they get independence.
No, I said, okay.
Are you
You see
talking
what
about?
I mean?
You talking about Puerto Rico?
Yes, I'm talking about Puerto
Yeah,
Rico.
I'm talking about all the territories. Get rid of the colonies. If they want to align with another country, then let them do it. That's their choice.
Yeah, Cosmic. That's what I was saying was that. Do you understand what kind of level of
Ego. Malicious.
okay, let's malicious ego. Do you understand the malicious ego of sitting there going, yeah, I know y'all been here for a while, and yeah, this is a nice place to visit, but visiting ain't enough for us anymore. So
Yeah, we're going to take it.
not only
we need to be able to reach Japan.
did we decide to take your land, your country, your people, We're gonna make you a state.
Think about a state
But at
like
least they made a mistake.
but think about a state like Alaska. Why in the entire world is Alaska a part of the United States?
Same
And
reason Hawaii is.
Alaska serves no
Hawaii,
purpose. Sorry to
Hawaii
the
will
people
let
of
you.
Alaska.
Hawaii will let you get to Japan.
Alaska will let you
Alaska
get
will
to
let you
Russia.
get to Russia.
Basically,
It's all
yeah,
strategic.
Alaska belongs to
Guam
Canada.
lets you get to the that portion of the Asiatic island and mainland. It's all strategic. America does zero for humanitarian reasons.
Yeah, I'm like,
Zero.
no,
it's,
Alaska belongs to Canada. Period. Point blank. I'm like, that's Canada.
Canada is lucky that America didn't take Canada. Okay.
no,
So,
no.
No, I'm
I'm gonna tell you what happened. I tell you, America wasn't gonna take Canada because Canada was still controlled by England, and England already done lost one freaking war. You really didn't want to try to go 2 for 2.
and nobody wanted the frozen north. It didn't serve a
We got Alaska.
strategic
We
purpose.
got Alaska.
which technically still serves no purpose, but okay.
Strategically, Alaska serves a lot of purpose.
To Russia. Yeah.
The sun only shines 6 months out of the year.
But the oil comes out. The oil
Oh,
come out the ground when you
by the
want
way,
it, and you can drop a bomb in Russia.
Anybody want to visit Alaska?
No,
My uncle
I
loves
want
it
to take a cruise to Alaska.
you can help yourself and make sure you go when the sun is shining because it ain't gonna be for 6 months out of the year.
there. It's cool.
Hey,
It's gonna be there. It's gonna be dark and it's 12 o'clock. What?
hey, you get the right person, you ain't gonna kill.
Yeah. So exactly. So it's like that's what America does. So my point is, give these colonies their opportunity. First, start calling them what they are. Stop calling them territories.
They're
Call them
states.
colonies. Call them
Yep.
colonies, and give them their opportunity.
Pierre, absolutely on
But they
point.
don't want American democracy. It's
Because
like
these
wanting American
because
Christianity. It ain't the same thing.
That is their selling point on everything that they do. Democracy. And the funny thing about it is they get to define exactly what democracy
Democracy is.
Which is really piracy.
Yeah,
Over
I'm
and
like
over
this
again.
theft.
Always happen. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I know that. Cops say, I'm like, yeah, I know, but I'm like, it's dark 6 months out of the year. But okay.
Yeah. So that's my thing. So it's
and by
like,
the way, so is Hawaii.
yeah, Hawaii is for Japan. So it's like if you really
But we're not
want,
warring against Japan anymore, are we?
but we were, and that's why we took it.
Because we just made a mistake for that point, being like, okay, we're not warring Japan no more. Y'all on your own.
So if America is serious,
Which is
get rid of the colonies. But see, there's a game inside of that, which we've already talked about in the past, y'all, about red state, blue state. So who gets this, and so that creates their issue there, which is why they fight it so hard. So I'm like, you fight that first before you fight DC statehood, because to me, DC statehood is actually structured in the Constitution somewhere about how they took some land from the DMV and created this thing so it wouldn't be held by any one state, because you don't want a state to have the nation's capital, because then that state, even if it's not true, will consider itself more powerful because that state has
let's consider we live in a country where you can pay a $1,200 mortgage but yet not qualify for a home loan paying $950. Somebody explain that to me, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. I'm like, huh?
This is what this is Pierre saying. Bezos got more money, small companies, blah blah blah. I just put an article on Facebook, on my Facebook page. And by the way, for everybody that's new, thank you, because this is the most people I've had for so late, and we're about to die. At least I am about to die. But
we have entered into tomorrow, where we have 3 shows.
It's tomorrow.
It's
tomorrow.
It's Saturday.
It is now Saturday morning.
I'm trying not to be a certain
for a test show. for a test show.
A test show. This wasn't even supposed to be long. I'm sitting here thinking, oh, we going again Saturday.
Are
Yep,
they
we are in a
going
few
to have
hours.
people? Are you gonna turn your back on the people? Is that what you're
We
saying?
not, but we telling the people we sleepy.
Yeah, my contact's drying up. But nah, but for real though.
Oh, wait, I just want to make this point, and then we are about to close because I'm done and I do got to prep for tomorrow.
You mean
That
today?
is-
I'm just saying. You not prepping for something. It's
And
today
the
you
funny thing
prepping for.
about it is, I don't even want to take you off the screen because when I put you back on, hell, I won't see you. So I don't know about this system. I may go back to the old one. I just put an article on my Facebook page, Radical Truth to Power. For everybody that's new, it's Radical Truth to Power on Facebook and YouTube. By the way, please subscribe. That Apple, whatever they call themselves, Apple company has become the first company to be at $4 trillion. And
Are
somebody,
they Alphabet now? Is that them? No,
what's that?
Google's Alphabet. Sorry.
Yeah, Google is under somebody else. Apple is Apple. Apple never sold out. How to say that? But Apple is the very first company to be at $4 trillion. That means that Apple has more money than the GDP of 4 countries.
But that's why they're right now talking about giving, what was it? Was it Facebook they're negotiating giving them a seat on the UN? I mean, it's we are in the new gilded age. So we're moving away from nation states and we're moving towards what do you call them? Multinationals. So
Yeah.
we love you too, Mickey.
I, I look. I took on the responsibility of taking care of the people who helped me out throughout the year. So I'm not going to have them on. And quite honestly, the beer is sort of swirling.
Wait, you had beer?
I drink beer every show.
I never
Look,
had it.
I have figured this out about me. I'm probably at this point no longer a liquor person. I'm kind of like that's not me anymore.
I do bourbon with lemonade. It's the only I've never been one who cut my drinks, but now I do that. And I like Dos Equis Black. I like the dark lagers.
I,
I like
I don't think I can do liquor anymore. Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
Cosmos 4 trillion. They have top
I
4 trillion.
literally have no clue as to what you two are talking about, so I'm just gonna sit here and go, "Yep, sound right to me. Yep, okay."
Yep. America doesn't understand other ethnic groups because might makes right, and that's all that matters. And so they'll
we
go in
already
there
explained it.
and
It's not democracy. It's not our democracy. So if it's not our
America
democracy, why would I?
America is the only country that says it exports democracy and has never made a delivery.
There you go.
No,
Yeah.
Mickey, we didn't. But no, America is. You know what America is? America is confident, ugly girl. America is that girl that she knows she busted, but she's so confident. She's got all of this swag. She's got all this confidence that she thinks she's selling democracy around the world, where she is not. But she'll tell that to anybody that's willing to listen.
I look at America.
Confident, ugly girl.
To me, America is the bully on the block that harassed and beat up all the other little kids around him because he just happened to be bigger. And now that America wants to not be a bully anymore, just saying, they realize they have to continue to stay in the gym,
Yeah.
keep their weight up,
Yep.
and they have to keep being a bully because the moment they stop, everybody else is going to come settle debts.
Confident, ugly girl.
Cosmic, I agree with you, and that may be me. I'm just
Like I said, I don't know what y'all talk about cutting alcohol and all. I'm like, you cut it? Like you can't take a knife. It's a liquid. So it's just like all going. I'm like, I have no
So
idea.
there's people who drink their liquor straight, which was me pretty much my entire life.
All I drink
So
is Kool-Aid and soda and water. So that's the
yeah.
three
So
main ones.
You know what, Mickey? Yeah,
Sure will,
yeah.
because you reap what you sow.
Because
and see,
every country, I don't even care if they're friends or whatever you want to call them. There is somebody that's waiting for us to slip up.
absolutely.
They are. They are. They're waiting for us to slip up because as much as we like to be friends, you got to understand something about this world that we live in. There are people who really agree with us and love us, and we're American and blah blah
Who?
blah and kumbaya and everything else, simply for the simple fact that we are American, not because they like us, simply
Oh
because
yeah,
we are
yeah.
American.
Because
Yeah,
everybody
we
wants
have
to be
to
in
be.
first
If
place.
we slip up, so yeah, Fizz was correct. You better take your ass to the gym.
But like right now, what we're dealing with on two fronts. China has been China's what, however many thousands of years old. Okay, they didn't seen America's come and go. So it's they're about to cycle back into their power era, and America it doesn't want to give any ground. But America wanted to coast for the last 40, 50 years
Hold on, Fizz.
while China was
That's
working.
that's not us doing that cosmic. That's a thing.
But
That's
yo,
something. That's a something the
yo,
system does.
they're gonna get me running my mouth. I'm
Ever,
sorry.
ever since Janet Jackson Super Bowl, everything is delayed.
Oh shoot, I
Wow.
forgot about that.
No. I'm serious. I'm giving you a history lesson. Seriously, when they did live TV, it was live. It was whatever you saw
But
was really happening at that time.
live TV has a 10-second delay now.
Since Janet Jackson, every network and apparently every platform has done a 10-second delay for just in case we need to bleep out something or blank something out or whatever. So
I was just upset that I waited that long of my life to see that, and that was what I got, and I was just not pleased.
disappointed.
Yeah, I expected the sun to come out and the birds to sing, but it's not what
All,
happened.
all I saw,
However,
all I
Holly
saw was
Berry
a bunch of
swordfish,
inflated balloons.
that was good.
Oh, sorry, I saw a bunch of inflated balloons. I didn't get the point. I really, as a matter of fact, I really would have told him, please don't.
I still love Janet.
I love Janet too, but that was just like, oh my god, how old are you again?
Well, she was in her 30s at that time. She's not in her 30s no
Oh
more.
good gracious, that's terrible.
Yeah,
Yep,
America's
we
in
be
this.
trying it.
It's in
Oh,
this. The next front though is not actually going to be Europe. The next front's going to be in Africa, but because they're already there. But yeah, it's always a self-interested, short-term commitment. Like America will try to get these European countries to go into NATO so that they can use other countries to obstruct Putin so that America can spend more of its time in Africa and the Middle East obstructing China. But none of it has any legs on it because we've watched, and every other nation has watched, America turn its back on its allies time after
Wait a minute.
time
America
after
has turned
time.
its back on Americans.
Yeah, but nobody really care about us because, that's another discussion. Sorry, I
We're,
won't even go into that one. But
we're not gonna
yeah,
go there because I got more comments and we got to get out of here because I got to. Some people hate our history, but if you set a new better way for a period of time, please ourselves, people in our country.
Yeah, but you have to be wanted. You have to not go back to the stuff you
But
was doing
but
before.
and you have to
but
be
That's
sincere.
but cosmic again, and you may not have been here when we started this. We're trying to erase American history now.
Yep.
Seriously.
Yep,
We're
that
trying.
never happened.
We trying to make
Yeah,
Paul Bunyan the third president.
yeah, we're
Slavery
trying to
wasn't bad.
so
It was,
to sit there and say that we could turn the curve, I
but you have to first admit you did it, and we
Well,
not going.
well
We
yeah,
have to
that's
be willing to make amends. See, the
Yep,
difference
and
is, see,
make amends.
America
oh
can
no,
admit that they did a lot of
I
things,
go with Tracy.
but it doesn't want
First,
to
you
make
really
amends.
have to admit that
The
you
first
actually
part,
did
you got to
something.
say, "Hey, we
That
screwed
you
up."
actually did something. We
No,
can't
America's done that. America said that
America
they were
has
wrong
never
for
officially.
slavery. No,
When?
America officially said that they were wrong for
What year
slavery.
was this?
Wasn't that that was Bush did it? I don't think it was W. I
I
want to say W
yeah.
did it.
We have people that said
But America calls it
you know
the
what I
original
think
sin
too,
and all that stuff.
but you do understand they always put a caveat in it. Slavery was wrong, but it was a necessity.
A necessary evil or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But my
Yeah,
point
you
is,
should just say,
they'll
"Hey,
say
we
that
wrong."
they'll say things are wrong. They just don't want to make amends for it because that costs money, and they ain't trying to do that. But the difference between like Germany, when Germany came out of World War II, they went hard on stomping out all that stuff. It's only just now starting to try to creep its head up, you know. Um, oh, that's different.
Oh,
See, I owe you money, but I ain't gonna give it to you.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
forget what we promised. What is
You
a
know.
promise? It's just
Let
something
me
we
get
wrote
some of
on
your
paper.
look. Let me borrow $2,000, and I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna get you back when I get my tax money.
That's pretty much what this is. I'm gonna hit you back.
Yep,
Yep,
the
exactly.
racist Africa. Everybody wants to exploit.
Because they need the resources.
The resources is I'm not saying it's drying up. I don't want nobody to think, oh my
No,
God, Marlon's talking about it's
access
drying
to
up.
it.
But the resources is not as pertinent as it was 70s, 80s, 90s.
So I think it's different, Marlon. I think it's not that there's a scarcity issue. It's a matter of everything keeps getting more expensive and more complicated and more involved. So if you can control the supply line, the base supply line, then you can control your costs.
Well,
They
but
don't
that's
want to pay Africa for its stuff.
but that's what I mean is that the resources is getting to a point where it wasn't as high as it used to be, so the cost has to go up. So, and you got to remember, we're talking about America. We're not going to raise the prices because the work is harder. No, we're raising the prices because we have to work harder, and we're gonna
We need more profit.
we need more profit while we still can.
Yeah, but we ain't gonna
Yeah.
pay nobody nothing.
But we no, absolutely not.
Yep, and if we want your country, we'll
You're
just
gonna
come take it.
you're gonna keep getting what you're getting if you get absolutely anything. But I need to keep the same profit that I normally get. Wait a
But
minute.
here's
You said 100 diamonds, and now it's only 50 diamonds.
but see,
But
here's
yeah,
the
I need to keep
difference
the
between
profit that I
how
normally get. So yeah.
so European cultures are just I mean, it's just been brutal over time. And
Oh wow.
who
Do I do this
America
for it? No, sorry.
who
Not yet.
America and the other Western powers are trying to go against is China at the moment. Well, China's using soft power. China has a massive military. China has probably the only military that could go up against us. But what do they use? They go into these countries and they take over their resources and their land by
Yes,
improving the areas that they were. And
that is exactly.
America, on the other hand, is like, I'm not going to improve anything. I
Yep,
just want the stuff.
we're gonna
So
take what we.
America's trying to get ready to go to war with China. And China's like, yo, if you want to fight, we'll fight. But I'm saying,
China.
Y'all better learn Chinese real quick.
Let,
That's
let me
all I
say this.
gotta
Let me say
say.
this real quick, and then we have to get off because seriously, guys, I'm done. I really am. And for everybody else, I'm done. So don't. I'm just gonna put this up because they put it up, and
yeah, Obama helped kill the man who was
yeah,
going
that
to
was
help
done.
do
Done.
that.
Yep.
But let me say this about China. China was smart. China is was smart enough to go. I'm not going to fight. China treated the world like we treated Trump, as in saying when we got to Biden, we went. At least it's not Trump. That's how China sold themselves to the world. At least we're not America.
Yeah.
And that was and you got to
And
understand
that's enough.
that literally was enough. That was
Yeah.
enough. We're not the
Yeah.
greatest nation in the world. We may not always be there for you. We may not always have the economy. We're not America.
But who has China betrayed? I don't know. I don't know their history like that.
I don't think
But
they have.
they make a promise, they do it. Right, they do.
They
And
do.
America does the same thing. Like
But
America controls this hemisphere, China and Russia control that hemisphere, and America's like, no, I want all of it.
but Cosmic, I want to keep you understanding that that when you say China does that, I guarantee you that's a last ditch effort. Whereas America, that's not a last ditch effort. That is, you do know if you don't agree with us, that's what's gonna happen. Now I'm gonna talk. What's the old saying? Talk quietly but carry a
Carry a
big
big
stick.
stick.
But yep.
That's America. We're telling you we're not gonna mess with you and we're gonna be nice and everything else, but you do know.
I mean, look at it, and I'm gonna make this super quick. America. Um, you say America, and then you say Iraq, you say Syria, you say Libya, you say Haiti, you say Guatemala, you say Ecuador. You know what I'm saying? You can run down the list, and you know what America does. China, you got to say Taiwan and Hong Kong. That's what you got, because they don't go all around the world.
And by the way, amazing enough, they're really, really damn close, ain't they? They're in the
Yeah,
area. Alaska ain't nowhere near us. Hawaii is nowhere near us. Puerto Rico is nowhere near us. We had to go explore to get to them. Think of the mindset. You know, we got this country. Got to be more out there. Keep going till you hit another land.
yeah. America's like the gangbanger, and China's like the mafia boss. They both use violence, they both use extortion, they both use money, but there's a difference. There's a method behind some of the other stuff.
Of course, I mean, China doesn't allow free media, free religion.
Oh, trust me, China sucks some rocks. But
Okay,
again,
in America, we have the semblance of
America
free religion.
exploit. Yeah, we exploit.
again, we're not the greatest nation in the world. We're not
Yeah.
America.
China's like, I ain't getting it all right, but I ain't gonna kill you
I ain't gonna kill you. I ain't
unless
gonna
you're
bomb.
here.
I'm
Unless
not
you're
gonna.
here, then I'm
I'm
gonna
not
put you in
gonna
an
bomb.
alert
I'm
camp
not
until
gonna
I kill
bomb
you.
you in the middle of the night. That's for our people. Anyway, all right. That's it. That's it. Because all of y'all look blurry. You really don't, but you do.
Hey, y'all make sure you get your rest though, because I'm gonna need y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
And
to.
that's another thing why I need
Yeah,
to.
I'm like, oh, 1 o'clock. Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna put this up because I did
Can
promise
I
that
wear a hair
everybody.
bonnet?
I did promise that everybody put on, but I don't want nobody to comment on it. Yeah,
Yep.
It's a
yeah,
point.
yeah. That's it. Cosmic, I want you to stay on for 1 second. Everybody, I want you to stay on for 1 second. This is the most I've had, so I don't know if this is a program. You know what? Bleep that. It ain't the program. It's us. We're hard nosed. We're gonna tell you the truth, and I don't want to use somebody's thing saying whether you like it or not, and all that crap and everything else. But you know, but we're hard nosed, and we're gonna tell you the truth. None of it is gonna be pretty, but none of it is gonna be a lie. because we're taking it from our perspective. So I really appreciate each and every one of you people who came in to watch this show. My goal for this year was to get to 1,000 people. It darn well looks like it is from this experience alone. Having said that, no, we ain't gonna be on at no doggone 12 o'clock in the freaking morning every night. But I will say this is that
Definitely not on Friday.
definitely not on. Yeah, honestly, thank God it was a Friday because woo. Because remember, I used to do shows on Wednesdays, but either way. But we will be back on tomorrow at 9 o'clock for our regular show. I don't know what that time frame is for y'all, but I would honestly hope that y'all can come in. Theus does have a show tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We all, and by the way, it's packed. It's everybody on this show. So if you really want some sheer entertainment and sheer knowledge and sheer knowing what the hell is really going on, you need to be here at 1 o'clock. Or you're going to miss out. And there will not be any repeating.
Yeah, it'll be on my page, which is my personal page. But it'll also be on Complex Mind, Simple Man. It'll also be on Social Reality. So I would say, because I suck at this media thing, I'm trying to learn from Marlon and Tracy. Um, hashtag Social Reality. If you search for that hashtag around 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it'll bring you to it.
Have a good night, Pierre.
Thank you.
Absolutely not. Absolutely, absolutely not. We ain't got we ain't got time for me to go to the none of us go to the 12th page on Google to get our information.
But
So
that's what's wrong with Trump. He doesn't go to obscure web pages.
he don't go. No, he don't go to web pages.
He doesn't know what social media
He
is.
don't know what social media.
He doesn't tweet or anything.
He don't know that. Oh, sorry. Hold on. What's the name of the show, Theus?
So the show is Complex Mind, Simple Man because it's just what my channel is. But Social Reality
Oh,
is
well, wait a minute. Never mind.
awesome. Thank you.
Vicky be hitting it, boy. Good.
Well, she on it.
Vicky be on it. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, that is our show tonight. Please do not forget to hit that like button on the way out the door. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button if we have given you very good content, when apparently we have. For Tracy Carson, for Theus Robinson, and for the fact that I am new to this program, so I should keep my mouth shut before I say we're getting off,
Yes.
because I don't know how to do this thing yet. Sorry.
I think you hit the stop video.
No, I'm still here. I'm just okay. I got it now. So for Tracy Carson, for Theus Robinson, we will see you tomorrow. We'll see you when we see you. Peace.